Hey, what's up? It's JJ, the Lonely Bull in Asia here in Bangkok. Glad you're on board this morning. Happy to see you guys. We got 10 on already. That's good. Good start. So we'll just get things started here in just a little bit. We'll wait a while for other people to show up. Um, how's your weekend going? Wherever you're at, let me know where you're watching from too. That way, I kind of get an idea of what time zone you're in. Here it's 9 a.m. Sunday morning here in Bangkok. So it would be with daylight savings time now. It would be 10 p.m. Saturday evening on the East Coast in the States. So just to keep you up to date on that. So still got daylight savings time there. So it kind of messes things up because before it was like I knew it was a 12-hour time period between the East Coast in the US and here. Now it's 13 hours, something like that, or is it 11 hours, I guess. So anyway, so 9 p.m. there, you must be on Central Time then, right? I assume you're in the Central Time zone. Let's see. Jerry Round says good morning or evening, JJ. Good evening there. John in Asia, good morning, JJ. Thanks for coming on board, John. Yeah, everything's good now. I mean, we'll talk about my accident and my medical diagnosis and my medical procedures I had when I was in Hua Hin. We'll do that in just a little bit. So I can run down all the costs and everything for you. I got it all written or all printed out right here of what everything costs. So I can tell you exactly what my medical expenses were, and you can decide whether that's a good price, okay, too expensive, shouldn't have paid out of pocket, whatever. So I'll leave that up to you. Ben McKinney says hi. Hello, Ben. Thanks for coming on board this morning. Stanley 816 says, I'm in Las Vegas area, 7 p.m. there. Okay, cool. Still early. Dog Bro says, hi, I am Dog Day. Okay, awesome. Hello, Dog Day. Nice for you to, thanks for coming on board this morning. Edwin from KCMO. Hello, JJ. Hello, Edwin. Thanks for stopping by this morning. So we went to Hua Hin last weekend and got there on the 7th, which was a Saturday, I believe. And our whole plan was to go golfing for 2 days. So my buddy, his nephew, and I went down there, checked into our hotel, took a taxi, grab taxi down there. And this taxi driver that had given me a ride the day before here, I asked him if he would give us a ride to Hua Hin. He said, yeah. The normal cost was about 2,400 baht to go one way. And since he was he wasn't doing it off Grab, he gave us a discount. So it only cost us 1,900. So I figured split 3 ways, that's a pretty good deal. So, and then he picked us up and took us back, same price, 1,900 baht. So anyway, we get down there Saturday morning and check in, or Saturday day, check in our hotel in the afternoon. And my buddy says, Mike says, let's rent bikes. And I'm thinking, oh man, it's been a while. So I said, okay. So we were heading to Wonderland, which is a bar area, but there's a bar at the end of Wonderland that does golf trips, golf travel. So what you do is you go there, you sign up for the next day, you can leave your clubs there, and then you just show up that morning and they pick you up in a bus and take everybody with your clubs to the golf course. And then you do your golf. And then when you're all done, they take you back to the bar. So seemed like a good idea at the time. So we did that. And let's get caught up on a couple of chats here. Dallas Ray says, hi, sir. Hello, Dallas. Smile. Okay. So anyway, so we're walking to the bar, and we stopped by these motorcycle rental places. And Mike, my buddy, he had rented from this place before, so we went in, and they remembered him, and he remembered them, and so we got a pretty decent deal. We're just going to rent the bikes for the day, and so there were 3 bikes available. So we each rented a bike, and I took the crappy one. It was pretty beat up. It was an old Honda Click. Um, it was pretty beat up to begin with. So I thought, well, I'll take that one instead of the 2 new ones. And the one that was rented to my buddy, that was the owner's bike, her personal bike. It was a beautiful pastel color, and he looked good on it. But so we went left there. It was 2,000 baht deposit, which is about 60, a little over $60. And then for renting for the day, it was 300 baht, which is about $9, a little over $9. So we left there, got my helmet, left there, went to the bar and signed up for golf. Well, we were going to do Sunday and Monday. Well, they didn't have a thing for Sunday. So we signed up for Monday. And then the guy that was there, I think his name was Joe, but I can't remember. Anyway, he said he could get us a good price for a course on Sunday. And so we decided, okay, let's do Sunday morning, 8:40. And we did Pineapple Golf Course. I think that's where we had signed up. And it was pretty cheap, like 2,000 baht for everything, for the cart, the green fees, the caddy. Of course, you tip the caddy afterwards too, but for those, everything there is like 1,900 or 2,000 baht, something like that. So it's like, okay, cool. We signed up for that for Sunday. And then we signed up for the Monday trip from the bar. And it was a little higher price. It was about 3,200 baht for that course. So I'm thinking about 5,500 baht for 2 days of golf, which is about 160 bucks, 170 bucks, something like that. So we're getting ready to leave, and we're at the bar, right? And there's all these traffic cops just hanging out at that bar there outside. There's probably a half dozen of them. And I'm like panicking a little bit. It's like, what if they stop us, you know? So finally we just got up and left, and Mike and his nephew wanted to go to Monkey Mountain and see the monkeys. I'd already seen it, so I wasn't really interested in that. So I went back to the hotel. I needed to charge my phone. So I went back to the hotel, plugged my phone in, and probably about 5:30 or 6, we decided, it's probably a little earlier than that, about 4:30, we decided they were back from Monkey Mountain. They saw what they needed. And we were going to go and get something to eat. And there's a little restaurant right around the corner. We were staying at the Hua Hin Grand Hotel and Spa or something like that. And it was a nice hotel. I stayed there the last time I was there, and it was really nice and inexpensive. It only cost like $34 a night, something like that, US. So that was nice. So they didn't know where this restaurant was, but it was literally around the corner. So you go up the street to the main road that goes north and south on Hua Hin. You take a left, and it's literally 2 blocks, maybe 3. And there's a little market there. And right on the edge of that market, right on the corner there, is this nice little restaurant that they serve burgers, they serve steak, they serve Mexican food, Thai food. So they got a pretty vast menu, and it's pretty good food. So we were going there. So I kind of led the way, and I pulled out into the street, and I was doing fine. And I got up to, we're literally a block from San Paulo Hospital. Our hotel is like basically right next door. And we got up there, and there was a white SUV parked on the left side, and in front of that was a street vendor, and then the hospital entry was right past that. Well, I'm on my bike and I'm get right by the SUV, and then there's the street vendor, and here comes this guy walking in the street, and I see him, and it's like too late to react. I try to react, and I end up clipping him with my handlebar, right? Just kind of bumping him in the back. I don't think I hit him really hard. It didn't knock him down as far as I know, but it made my handlebars do this, and I flipped. I think I must have. So I scraped up my knee really bad, my right knee, and then I ended up landing on my back and right shoulder. So I think what it must have happened was I must have landed first on my knee, and then I was holding onto the handlebars, and the force when the bike went over, it flipped me over. And the only thing I really remember is when I hit the pavement with that thud, and it just knocked the wind out of me, and I could tell it was pretty major. It hurt really bad. And I just laid there and I groaned a little bit, I think. And but it was right in front of the hospital. And so my buddies were a little farther behind me, so they came up. They didn't see it happen. They just saw me laying there. So I'm laying there. There's a couple of orderlies from the hospital out there, and a couple of nurses, I think. And then my friends were there, and I said, "Help me up." And I tried to get up, and it hurt so bad. So I got my left hand up, and they helped me up. And I must have been in shock or something, because I was sweating like crazy, and it really hurt so bad. And so they had a wheelchair right there, and they asked me, "Do you need medical assistance?" And I said, "Yeah, I think so." So they wheeled me into the hospital, and I'm sitting there in the emergency room, and I'm filling out the forms and stuff. And I'm just sweating like crazy. And this lady at the reception, she's handing me tissues, and I'm wiping my face. It's just pouring down. And so I get all that information, and they take me back into the emergency, and the doctor on duty, he's looking at me, and the nurses are fixing my knee, and I got a contusion here and a couple of scrapes. I got a scrape here and just a couple of minor ones. But so they're fixing me up, and they bandage me up, and then they take me to get my x-ray, right? And to see if I have any broken bones. And so I can't, it hurts so bad just to lay there, and I can't get up. So they help me up, and I get on the wheelchair, and they wheel me to x-ray, and I stand up, and they take 3 x-rays, 1 on my back and 2 of my shoulder, because that's what hurt the most. And then I go back to the emergency area, and I lay down there, and the doctor comes in, and he shows me the x-rays on his phone, right? And he's trying to point out what's wrong. And I can't read x-rays. I don't know what he's looking at something that's like, I don't see it, but I trust him. So he said I had a fractured scapula. My right scapula was fractured. And he says, I might have a fracture in my shoulder, or it might just be muscle damage. He said he really couldn't tell from the x-rays. So I said, okay. So he said I would need to come back tomorrow morning and have the orthopedic surgeon look at it, and he would be able to give you a better diagnosis. So I said, okay, fine. So what they did was they scheduled me to come back, and I'll show you these. So all these dates, they scheduled me to come back every morning at 10 a.m. on all these dates to redress my wounds, right? And when I went to the cashier to pay, I just paid out of pocket. And the whole cost of everything came to, let me see, came to $8,722 for that day. 22 baht, 8,722 baht, which is about $280, something like that, 270, 280, something like that. So here's the breakdown of the costs. So the Outpatient medication was 1,053 baht. The outpatient special medication was 1,458 baht. The nurse service fee for outpatient was 80 baht. The medical packages, which is the wound dressings for those however many days, what was that? 4, 5, 6, 7 days for a week worth. That was 2,000 baht. Other medical charges, 120 baht. Medical supplies, 726 baht. Medical supplies 2, 385 baht. Standard diagnostic imaging, 900 baht. That's the x-rays. The special diagnostic physician service, so the services provided by, I guess, whomever, that's $1,000, 1,000 baht, I'm sorry. And then the doctor fee from this Dr. Yosnan was 1,000 baht. So the total came to 8,722. So I went in the next day, and the orthopedic, they redressed my wounds. The orthopedic surgeon came in, and he says, it's really hard to tell whether you've got a fracture on your shoulder or if it's just damage from the fall, just bruised or whatever. He goes, we would have to do a CT scan in order to know for sure. And I go, how much is the CT scan? Because I paid everything out of pocket. I just decided, it's like, instead of going through my insurance, it's, $270, not a big deal. So I just used my bank card and paid. And he goes, it's 9,000 baht for the CT scan. So that's more than what I paid out of pocket for the whole thing to begin with. So I said, well, okay, so what's the difference in treatment if it's fractured or if it's just a bruise or just muscle damage? And he goes, there's no treatment. You just got to rest it. Put a sling. They gave me a sling to wear, and to elevate my arm and keep the weight off. He goes, that's all you need to do. There's really nothing else to do. I said, so the CT scan really doesn't matter because the treatment's the same either way. He goes, yeah. And I go, well, I'm just going to pass on the CT scan. And he said, oh, that's a good choice. So he gave me the option and he let me decide. And then he told me that's a good choice. I don't know if any doctor in the US would do that. They would just automatically, you're getting a CT scan. So that was kind of neat. Well, then that day when I was getting my wounds dressed, I said, hey, I'm leaving Monday, going back to Bangkok, so I can't come in these other 5 days or whatever, 6 days. And they go, when are you going? When are you leaving? I go, in the early evening, because my friends were going to go golf that day. Obviously I wasn't, but they were going to go golf. And then when they were done golfing, we'd probably get something to eat and then head back. So they go, can you come in the morning? We'll dress your wounds and bring this form with you, and bring the form and bring your itemized bill. So I said, okay. So I went in that next morning, which was Monday morning at 10 a.m. They redressed my wounds, did a great job, and went to billing, and I gave them this, and they gave me a refund. They actually gave me 1,250 baht back for the dressings that they weren't going to provide. I don't know if that would ever happen in the U.S. I don't know. You guys can comment in the chat what you think, but so that was a pretty cool deal. Now the orthopedic surgeon charged me 1,000, so that was another 1,000. So basically, I paid 87.22 for the first day. I got 1,012. I got 1,250 back, so that was 72, about 7,200 baht, and then $1,000 for the orthopedic surgeon. 1,000 baht for the orthopedic surgeon, so that's about 8,200 baht. So the whole thing cost me about $250 out of pocket, which I thought that was pretty good deal. I am on the mend. It hurt really. Oh, and I bruised ribs too. He told me that my ribs were bruised, and I can tell. That's That's probably hurts more than anything still. I sneezed this morning and I thought somebody stuck a hot poker in my ribs. It hurt so bad. Just a searing pain. Um, so that's a slow mend. My shoulder's feeling better. I got movement. I can move things now. My back still hurts. It still hurts to lay down and it hurts to walk. But I went through the pain pills in like less than a week. Those were gone. So now I'm on ibuprofen. I just take some ibuprofen a couple of times a day when I feel like I need it. So anyway, so that's my story. let me know. Let me know in the chat what's going on. What have you had any issues? If you've been to Thailand or anywhere in Southeast Asia, medical issues, what's your experience been? Jay Man says, "Hey JJ, hey Jay, thanks for coming on board." So what is this? The never-ending story? Get on with it. I told you the story. Come on. What's the point of the story? Get on with it. Oh, come on, dude. If you don't like it, don't watch. Nobody's forcing you to sit there. Was there a donut shop close by? No, there was not. Oh, you mean when the cops were there? No, I don't think so. I don't think they do the donuts here. I think that's a US thing only. Do you have to get a new bike? Okay, so my buddies took the bike back and I got my deposit back. The lady, the owner of the bike rental place, she was more worried about me than the bike. Obviously, that bike's been through a lot. And I thought it was going to be bad because the seat flew off. They had to put everything kind of back together. But they got back and they got my deposit back. There was only a couple minor scratches, I guess. So that was good. So anyway, could not pick a better place to fall. Exactly. And the nurses and the staff there were really good. That's a great hospital. I 100% give it 5 stars for the care that was given to me. Super friendly. Most of the staff spoke enough English so the doctors especially, they spoke English, so that was good. Most of the other staff, they spoke English pretty well, so we could communicate, which was nice. So that was good. And the nurses were obviously beautiful, so that helped. Get out of there, go to the US, use your Medicare to get treated. No, it's good. Everything's fine. Everything's on the mend. I just wanted to thank the sidewalk for keeping me off the streets, right? The whole shut it, quit, the incessant whining. This is a no whine zone. This is my stream, not yours. If you want a no whine zone, go to do your own stream, dude. You didn't get banged up too bad. No, it could have been worse, obviously. And I was wearing a helmet. I don't know if my head hit or the helmet hit the pavement or not. I don't really remember, but that was good that I was wearing a helmet. But it probably could have been a lot worse. But I wasn't going that fast, so they didn't charge anything for the bike. I got my full 2,000 baht deposit back. So thankfully, I was using the beat up bike to begin with, so that was good. You hear all these horror stories about how they charge you extra when you bring your bike back. This was not the case. These girls were above board. It was really good. I doubt that would happen here, but I go to the VA for everything, so I don't know. Yeah. What license do I need to use a scooter that you use? You need I think you can use an international license and or a Thai license. I was breaking the law. Do you have a bike license? No, I did not. That was one of my worries about the cops being there. Do people walk on the road this carelessly often? Well, sometimes yes, sometimes no, depending on if there's sidewalks available. A lot of times in Southeast Asia, there aren't any sidewalks. So ribs take time, always moving. Yeah. Thank goodness you're okay now. Yeah, I'm well on the mend. You know, my buddies went to the golf range yesterday, and I went out there and did a video. Actually, I didn't golf, but I actually took a club out yesterday morning and tried to swing, and I can do the backswing and I can swing through slow. But if I did it with any regular speed, it probably would not feel good here or my back. So it'll be a couple more weeks before I can swing a club for real. But anyway, so that's my cost. I thought it was pretty good cost. I thought it was really, you know, I think if I would have been in the U.S. and had that same treatment, it probably would have cost me $2,000 or $3,000 US easily just for that. So um, I would have had to use my insurance, and then my insurance premium would have gone up, and all that crap that goes along with it. Um, could you live in Hawaii? I think I could. It's a little more laid. Obviously, it's a lot more laid back than Bangkok, but Hawaii's nice. I like it. That's I think I could really probably live there. There's a lot of really nice golf courses. There's a there's a decent bar scene there. There's some decent restaurants, nice restaurants. It's just in the beach. You got the beach too. So it might I'm what I might do is like spend 2 months there, like in the smoky season, the burning season, January and February. I might spend 2 months down there and just hang out. But I don't know if I could stay there long term. That might get a little boring. It is an older community, so you've got to keep that in mind. What typically happens if the police catch you with no license? You get a fine. You pay like 1,000 baht or a couple thousand baht or something like that. Like your vlogs. Glad you didn't slow you down. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it hurts to walk a little bit. So when I'm walking to class, that hurts a little bit. So I tried to wear the sling the first couple of days when I got back, but it was just I didn't like it. It's almost like it drawing attention to you. So I just ditched the sling. It's still here, but I haven't really needed it. So, um, but yeah, I have a few falls too. I think next time if I do any rentals, it's going to be the 4-wheel variety. How long is commute there from Bangkok? It only took us. So if you go by bus, so like off Ekamai, there's a bus station there. You can take a bus, and it only costs like what is it, 150 baht or something like that. So like $5, and it's about a 3.5 to 4 hour bus ride. But my Grab taxi guy, he was smoking. He was doing about, what was it? About 85 kilometers per hour a lot of the time. So I don't know what that is in miles per hour, but he was going pretty fast. So we actually got back in about 3 hours, or a little under 3 hours actually. So that was really good. So I like that, and it was a lot more comfortable and no stops. We only stopped if we had to use the restroom or something like that. So that's a song. Do you always self-insure? Well, I've got travel insurance, and that's for the major medical stuff. But for the small stuff, I just pay out of pocket. It's just a lot easier because a lot of insurances here you have to pay and then you get reimbursed, and that's I just rather just pay out of pocket, and it's not that big a deal. I mean, if you can afford it, go for it. I have a higher deductible, so when it's major stuff, then I'll use that. And knock on wood, I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I mean, I think having travel now, I'm going to have to change because I'm getting to a point where in a couple of years I'll be too old to get travel insurance, so I'll have to get the regular stuff. So I'll pay a little more, but it'll be okay. But that's down the road a couple of years. So don't F around, pay on the spot, rest your scapula. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Where's your next port of call? How long will you stay where you are? I'm here for the duration. So I'm on an education visa, for those that don't know, and I'm taking Thai language courses, and I'm in level 2 right now. We just started that last month. And then once level 2's done, I'll go into level 3. So that will get me to basically to the end of this year. And then my plan is to get a retirement visa here in Bangkok or here in Thailand and just stay. My lease at my condo here is 2 years. So I'm here until November of 2027 is when my lease runs out. So I'm here long term unless something unexpected happens. So do you date while in Thailand or staying a free agent? I have dated in Thailand. I have dated Thai girls. Right now, I'm kind of focused on. Well, right now I'm focused on healing, but right now I'm focused on my channel and just enjoying time with my buddies. So I'm not really the dating. I did a video yesterday, and I'll post that this week. But basically, it talks about why I came to Southeast Asia, and you're going to hear if you ask 100 expats why they moved to the Philippines or why they moved to Southeast Asia, 100 of them are going to give you the wrong answer. They're not going to give you the actual reason. The actual reason you come here is to date beautiful, younger Asian women. That's the reason, guys. There's no, you might as well just say it out loud. Everybody's thinking it, so just say it out loud. That's the reason I moved here. I had a job that allowed me to move to Asia to start up an Asia division of this company. And so I moved to the Philippines to do that. The reason I did it in the Philippines, well, for the business side of things, was the language. The English language was good. I could hire good help that spoke English, and I could give them a decent wage. And but the real reason personally is because I wanted to continue to date Filipinas. So that was my ultimate goal. And so I did that, and I did that regularly when I first moved there. For the first year I was there in BGC in Metro Manila, I dated a lot, and I had a lot of fun because I was making US dollars, and I was like a 2%er there in the Philippines. So I was living the dream. It was fun. I'll admit I had a lot of fun dating. Then I met a special Philippine girl, and then we kind of settled down, and I stopped the dating thing. So, but I love Bangkok. I love Thailand. That's why I moved here. So, but you'll see that video this week. I like your idea about 3 months in Hua Hin. What would be ideal way to spend a calendar year? Like what months, which city, assuming base is Bangkok? That's a good question. Because when I first moved here, I was living. I had a small condo south end of Bangkok, actually in Samut Prakan district, and I had a small cheap condo. I was paying like 12,000 baht a month for that, and I was also renting an apartment in Da Nang, Vietnam. So I would spend 3 months in each place and just kind of bounce back and forth. And that was my original thought. It's like, I'll just do that. Well, every time I left Bangkok, I missed it. So when my 3-month lease ran out in Da Nang, instead of renewing it, I canceled it. And now I'm here full time. So that would be, I mean, if you're talking about just in Thailand, I think probably the summer months, the hot months, like, April, May, June, maybe go up to Chiang Mai or even Chiang Rai in the higher elevations where it's a little cooler. Um, that'd probably be a good thing. And then during the burning season in the first part of the year, go south and Hua Hin or Pattaya or even down to Phuket or somewhere like that. So that would be probably what I would do. But I just like Bangkok so much. So every time I leave, I want to get back as soon as possible. So rest yourself, brother. Thanks, Pepster. Appreciate it. Bro Jay says, drive safely out there. Travel insurance might deny claims if you're riding without a bike license and something more serious happens. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, but you always, you ride a bike and you don't think, well, I'm going to get in an accident. You never think that's going to happen to you. So, but it happened to me. So, if I visit for a month or two, should I get Safety Wing or something similar? Yeah. You can go on my any of my videos or my channel, and in the descriptions, there's a link to Safety Wing, and you can check that out. Heard anything about rules changing on getting a bank account on an ed visa? I know you got one. I heard the rules changed since, and now no more. I have not heard that, Jerry. As far as I know, you can still get a bank account with an education visa because it's a non-immigrant visa. So it's just like a retirement visa. So as far as I know, you can still do that. Now, they were cracking down on education visas because they were using them illegally. They were getting an education visa and then working at service places like restaurants and bars and things like that. But you can't work legally on an education visa here in Thailand. So they cracked down on that and they canceled like 8,900 education visas last year because of that. But if you're legit, like I am, going to class and you go every 3 months, you got to get your extension and you show them all the paperwork. And my school does an awesome job. They fill out all the forms for me. So all I have to do is take it to immigration, show them my attendance record, because that's part of the paperwork, and I get my extension with no problems, no questions asked. So I haven't heard about the bank thing, so I really don't know. I can't really speak to that, Jerry. I will research that though. Do they speak English? A lot of them in the tourist areas do speak English. Now, a lot of the bars and restaurants along Sukhumvit Road, a lot of the waitresses that work there, a lot of the people that work there are from Myanmar. So they're Burmese. So their English is a lot better than a lot of the Thais. So you're going to find that it's really easy to communicate when you're at these tourist areas where you're speaking to, waitresses or bartenders or people in retail. They're going to know how to speak English pretty well. So you're not going to have that problem. When you get away from those areas, that's where you run into the issue of being able to speak English. Like our Grab driver, he didn't speak any English. So he spoke. It was easier for me to understand his Thai than even my teacher when she speaks Thai, because she speaks faster and he spoke slower. And so I can pick up words to a point where I can understand what he was saying and I can respond. And a lot of times it's like, I know how to respond. There's a word that I don't know what it is in Thai. So I would look it up on my phone and then I could respond in a full sentence. So that was kind of enjoyable to converse with the Grab driver. That was kind of neat. So expat life. Yeah. Like, which parents' genetics have strongest influence on the IQ of offspring, but which race scores lowest on IQ testing? Technically, whose fault? I don't know what you're talking about. How's the inflation in Thailand versus Vietnam? So I don't know what's going on in Vietnam right now. I haven't been back there since last March. So it's been a year since I've been back there. So I don't know, has inflation hit there? Because Vietnam's one of the cheaper places to live. Here it has hit a little bit, but you really see it in the high season, which we just finished. prices go up a little bit. I did hear some bad news. If you guys like cheap massages, I heard that the average massage price is going to go up. The government is kind of cracking down on the the um, the illegal, not the illegal massage, but the non-licensed massage places, and they want to make sure that the massage places that are legit, in other words, that the masseuses and masseurs have their licenses, so they're going to pay them more. I think it's going to go from 300 to 450 baht, I heard. So, but I don't know when that's going to happen. So during high season, the prices go up a little bit on everything: hotel prices, food, beer, massage, grab, things like that will go up. But now that we're basically at the end of high season, we're getting into that hot, low season just before the rainy season starts. You'll see prices kind of level off or go back down a little bit. I don't think it's that bad to me, at least. You can still go and go to these night markets you can find really cheap food. Like I took a friend to Tonsai Market the other night, and I had a steak. It was 65 baht for 100 grams for a steak. And so I think mine cost about a little over 100 baht total for the steak I got. And it was pretty good steak too. So, I mean, it wasn't Wagyu beef or anything like that, but it was still pretty good. And for 65 baht for 100 gram of steak, it's not a bad deal. It's not just the same worldwide. Yeah. Are Thai mean to Indian people? I've heard they don't like Indian people particularly, but I don't know. I've never seen it personally, but I've heard that. I know if you go on dating sites and you look at these Thai girls and in their profile, some of them will say no Indians, please. So whatever that says. Which race of women is highest? I don't know what you're talking about. The North is better during the winter, islands during the burning season. Yeah, absolutely. You go south during the burning season. And you're up in Chiang Rai, so you would know. I've never been up there. I would love to go back. I would love to go up there. I've been to Chiang Mai, but I've never been to Chiang Rai. So I may knock on your door sometime. Maybe this winter. No one's caring about your visa. Nobody cares about you, 3 point whatever. How old are you, JJ, and how many years in Bangkok? I've been here about a year and a half now. I've been visiting since 2022, so about 4 years visiting. I'm 68, just turned 68 last week, and feeling good other than the shoulder. Is there a happy ending massage? Oh, yeah. There's plenty of happy ending massages. It'll cost you a little more than 300. Hey, Bobby, you're awake. Good. Thanks for coming on board. What do they call a quarter pounder in Thailand? I don't know. I would guess a quarter pounder. My hair aged well. That's the only thing I got going for me. Everybody says that. All my friends say, "Yeah, you got the best hair." Yeah, well, I didn't get the brains or the brawn, but I got the hair, I guess. So I'm okay with that. Everybody says, "Do you color your hair?" I don't color my hair. You should come up at the end of the year. I might do that when my language classes are done. I might make a trip up there. What was your profession before retirement? So I've had 3 professions. Right out of high school, I was in radio. I was in radio for about 30 some years, DJing, program director, operations manager for groups of stations. So that was my fun job. And then I got into selling insurance and investments, had all my licenses, my property and casualty, my life and health, my Series 6 and Series 63. Did that for about 5 years, hated it. Got out of that and got into recruiting at colleges, at tech schools. And that was my my last job. And after I got divorced in 2012, that's when my career really took off. It had that hockey stick movement, because I wasn't tied down by what my ex wanted me to do, so I could do what I wanted. So I started chasing the money, and so every job I went to, I was making more money. So, but that was my last career. I was working at a global online university, and it brought me out here to start up their Asia division. So it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed my careers, but very stressful. And I'm glad I'm retired now. There are worse brains out there, buddy. Yeah, I know. No, I'm not married. Good morning, Roger. Thanks for coming on board this morning. Never mind, you answered. Okay. Good morning, JJ. First time here. Oh, good. Well, thanks. Thanks for coming on board. Appreciate it. Do they have a version of Sister Wives available? I don't know what Sister Wives are. Is that a reality show? I don't watch television, so I don't know what that is. I haven't watched American television for years. What is your net worth in USD? The first thing you should learn when you come out here to Southeast Asia is never tell anybody what kind of money you make. That's the first thing you need to know. Don't ever tell anybody what your net worth is or how much money you make, because then you become a target. So just a little hack for you guys. Don't disclose any of your financial situation. I am comfortable. Let's put it that way. I don't have to worry about anything. But if I was still in the U.S., I'd probably still be working. So, well, yeah, they are money hungry too. They rob you. Yeah, they try. They will take advantage of you at every opportunity, and it's hard to deny that beautiful, pretty Asian girl or woman when they bat their eyes and tell you that they got a sick carabao, sick buffalo that needs tending. But yeah, you got to keep everything close to the vest. Stay broke like me. More fun being broke here than back home. Yeah, that's true. It's a little easier to be broke here than back home. Thailand is a middle income country now. Yeah, it's basically is. The problem with Thailand is it's major in debt. The majority of the country is in major debt, and so there's an issue that's going to come to fruition sooner than later. So the banks have already stopped lending money to most people because there's so much debt now, and that's going to be problematic for the economy. So it's going to be interesting. The GDP is really low here. Vietnam is outperforming Thailand in a lot of ways. Vietnam will become a middle income soon. Yeah, I think you're right. Thailand has high household debt. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and so that's going to be a big issue. I mean, remember when the U.S. had that issue with the housing and all those tranches? They had all those bad mortgage loans in those tranches, and when those collapsed, the entire market collapsed, and that was, what was that, 2007, something like that, right when I got into the finance business. Yeah, good timing on my part. But yeah, so that could happen here. I mean, with the debt, so much debt. Nice name. I like that. U.S. federal government is in lots of debt, but households are better off in U.S. because boomers have lots of wealth. Yeah, but the boomers aren't going to be around forever. I'm technically a boomer, but I don't feel like I'm a boomer. I saw something the other day that because the boomers have such a wide it's like from 1945 to 1965 or something like that, you're considered a boomer. Well, I have nothing in common. I was born in 58. I have nothing in common with my sisters who were born in, 47, um, other than blood relation. So the music was different. I mean, I grew up listening to that music because they played it all the time, but just things are different. So I saw something the other day. Now they're classifying people that were born in my time frame from like 56 or 57 to 65. They're calling us Generation Jones. So I guess it's a keep up with the Joneses thing. So I feel more in line with that. I'm kind of like I've always felt like I'm not a boomer, but I'm not a Gen X or whatever that next step is. So I always felt kind of out of place. I was in bank in 2008. It was murder. Yeah, yeah. The first year I was in the business, in the finance and insurance business, I made six figures, and I'm thinking this is awesome. And then 2008 hit, and it dropped to about a third of that. Everybody was selling. It's like crap. I couldn't I couldn't keep anybody on board. That's not counting on official debt. Yeah, loaning people, friends, acquaintances is crazy here. Yeah, absolutely. And in the Philippines, the word loan has a completely different meaning. Loan is something it's more like give. It's not a loan. Uh, especially if you're a family member or a friend, you're loaning somebody money. You you'll probably never see it again. So just remember that. What happened to the Thai Cambodia border conflict? It's still going on, but it's kind of in the back of the news now. Um, it's kind of simmered a little bit. So I'm not sure that I think the borders are still closed. So you can't travel on land back and forth. But I'm not really sure. I haven't heard much about it lately. I did hear about a week ago that a Thai soldier stepped on a landmine and injured himself pretty badly, I think. But that's about the only thing I've heard since then. I was born in 54 and consider myself a Jones generation. Yeah. So I think we are a different generation. Trump claimed he fixed it. Fixed the border, the Thai Cambodia thing. I don't know. Trump claims a lot of things. So, but I don't get political here. That's the second thing. Don't talk about your income. Don't talk about politics. And third would be don't talk about religion. I keep all those things out. Oh, here we go. Speaking of, for Buddhists, they are ready to fight each other. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know I mean, they're claiming there's a piece of land there and there's a temple on that piece of land. I think that's the biggest conflict where all this started. That each country claims it's theirs. So Jen Jones better than Jim Jones. Yeah. Want some Kool-Aid there, Bobby? Jonestown. You guys are funny. Okay. So what else is going on? We've been on almost an hour. It's gone fast. I was going to talk to you about, is the story over yet? No, go away. I'll tell you when it's back, when we're done. Ironically, it's a Hindu temple they fight over. Wow. Interesting. I did not know that. That is ironic. So my favorite holiday is coming up this week on Tuesday, which is St. Patrick's Day, the 17th. You can't see. I've got just on the other side of the TV there. I've got a little Irish flag that I fly. I've got my Six Nations Irish jersey that I'll wear on St. Patrick's Day. Got a couple of hats I could wear. I got one with the Irish flag on it. I got one that says Sláinte. Or I could wear my little I don't know what they call those hats, little derby hats or whatever. Anyway, so St. Patrick's Day. This will be my first St. Patrick's Day in Bangkok. Last year I was in the Philippines and it was horrible. I couldn't find an Irish pub to save my soul. Couldn't find a draft Guinness to save my soul. We finally found a bar that had Guinness, but it was in the can, which was like, oh well. But here you've got all kinds of choices. So I made a list. I actually I had ChatGPT do the list for me, but these are the lists of Irish pubs up and down Sukhumvit Road, and this will be my top. It was a top 10, but I had to add one that wasn't on this list because it's a little farther south. But I can show you my list. Hang on just a second. Let me pull this over here and go back here. I'll share this list with you and we'll go over it together and see what you think. Okay. So number one, I don't know if you can see that. If you're watching on your phone, you might not be able to see that, but I'll basically read it off to you. My number one pub, and some of these pubs I've never been to, but I will check them out for sure. Hang on just a second, guys. Okay, so number one, Scruffy Murphy's. Scruffy Murphy's is right there on near Ahsoka. It's on Sukhumvit Soy 23. Great location. It's right across the street from Soy Cowboy. But it's an authentic pub. It's owned by an Irishman. The bartender, or at least last time I was there, the bartender, he's Thai, but he speaks Gaelic, that's a plus. It's award-winning. They've got great whiskey. They can pour Guinness the proper way, which is important if you don't know that. They have live Irish music, and the best thing, they've got really good food, and especially their Guinness Irish stew is fantastic. So that's the best Irish stew in town, in my opinion, at least in the places I've been. So that would be my number one. Then they've got the Drunken Leprechaun. I have not been there. It's on Soy 15 or Sukhumvit 15 at 4 Points. And the key vibes are modern, social, and great terrace. So I will check that out. O'Shea's is one of my go-to spots on 33-1 here in Prompong. It's basically, I just walk out of my condo and go across Sukhumvit, and I'm right there. That is a great place. They've got a lot of good expats there. They've got a rooftop bar, and they do live music. It's not always Irish, mostly modern, but they do have that vibe, which is kind of nice. Right down the street from there is the Royal Oak, owned by the same guys. It's a British/Irish hybrid, and it's kind of a sports pub. So that's kind of nice. Then you've got Fitzgerald's, which used to be called Hanrahan's. That was before I got here. It's always been Fitzgerald's as far as I've known. It's on Sukhumvit 4, which is the Nana Street. So it's a great vibe. Got a nice porch outside. You can sit outside and watch the traffic, watch the parade of girls go by because it is on Nana. Good food. The Guinness is poured properly again, so that's important. Then O'Leary's Irish Pub is over on Soy 11. O'Leary's is a smaller pub, and I was there for a meet and greet with Bangkok Pat a few weeks ago. It was his meet and greet. I went there, and I got to meet him, and I got to meet Patty Doyle. He was there also. Talked to Patty for a little while, which he just got married. But anyway, it's a neat little, cozy little place, and they've got live music there. At least they did that day, where it's like the old pubs in Dublin. And if Kiki and Jasmine are on, you can verify this for me. But when they play music live at pubs in Ireland, they sit in a booth or they sit at a table. They don't have a stage necessarily. And so these guys, there's like four of them to start, and they were sitting there and they start playing their instruments. And then pretty soon another one shows up and they start playing along, and then another, and then another, and then another. Pretty soon there's like 8 or 9 people there playing music, singing Irish songs. It was really cool. They were just sitting at a table. They weren't up on stage or anything like that. But it's a small pub. So those guys alone took up like a third of the room. That's how small it is. But it was a really neat environment. I really liked it. So I will definitely go back there. And they got darts and obviously cold beer. Then you got the Landmark Huntsman Pub. I have not been there. It's in the basement of the Landmark. From what I understand, it says the vibe is kind of old world underground feel. So that sounds kind of neat. So I'm going to check that out for sure. The Black Swan is on Soy 19 near Terminal 21. So it's kind of on the other side of where Scruffy Murphy's was. little closer to Nana's, like between Asok and Nana. Quiet, traditional, solid food. So I will check that out. Blarney Stone is on Soy 4. I like Blarney Stone. They got good live music there. It's a neat bar. Yeah, very relaxed, no hype. It's a good local Irish pub, and they do a great job pouring the Guinness too. So that's important. The Pickle Liver, I've never been there. That's on Soy 7-1. It says it's a hidden gem. And they do pub quiz, I guess. So that sounds kind of cool. So I will check that out. I've been on 7-1. I haven't been on 7-1 for a while. I like 7 and 7-1. Those are kind of a neat area. Kind of reminds me of Wonderland in Hua Hin a little bit. But the Pickled Liver, I will definitely check that out and probably pickle my liver while I'm there. And then the one I added would be PJ O'Brien's. It's a little farther south. It's off of Procanong BTS between 46 and 47. And they got a super friendly staff. Most of the girls there are from Myanmar, so they speak good English. They're really cute. The food is good. The specials are good. I think they're owned by the same guys that own O'Shea's and Royal Oak. And they actually opened up a sports pub or sports bar right next door to it called The Globe, I believe. And they just opened that up like a month ago or less than a month ago. So definitely something to check out. So those are my top 11 guys. I've been to, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've been to 7 of those 11. So the 4 I haven't been to, I'll definitely check out. But if you're in Bangkok and if you're along Sukhumvit and you like Irish pubs, especially if you're going to be here on St. Patrick's Day, check those places out. I'm sure it's going to be very busy at all those places. So I don't know if they take reservations or not. It might be too late because here we are Sunday and St. Patrick's Day is Tuesday. But yeah, it'll be fun. I can't wait. I'm so excited. And then next month is Songkran Festival. So that'll be interesting. All right, let's get caught up on chat here. Let's get rid of this. LOL. Jay says, is there advantage of ed visa versus retirement visa? Well, I get to learn Thai, and I wanted to learn Thai anyway. So I thought, well, I might as well do the education visa while I'm doing it. Then I don't have to worry about depositing 800,000 baht into a Thai bank account. So that's kind of the main advantage. But if you're not really interested in doing Thai language, then it probably wouldn't be an advantage. Don't forget to have some Guinness. Oh, definitely, I will have some Guinness. I might have breakfast Guinness. I don't know. Any unique suggestions for a 57-year-old who has 130K debt, student loans, and unemployed in the U.S. with no savings? What jobs make big money in your opinion, experience? I don't know. I mean, what's your background? I mean, do you have a tech background? Because that's really, in the next couple of years, AI is going to take over a lot of those jobs. I read the other day that 85 million jobs are going to be displaced by AI by 2027. And most of those jobs are white collar, like customer service, coding, jobs like that. So if you've got a tech job, like if you're a plumber or a roofer or a millwright, something like that, your job's safe for now because they don't have robots that can do those jobs yet. But if you're like in customer service, or if you do computer coding or anything like that, you better be trying to find a different vocation. That would be my advice. Sacrilege. No politics, no religion. Exactly. Have you been to Tokyo or Seoul? I've been to Tokyo. I love Tokyo. Last time I was there was 6 years ago this month. It was 2020, and I got stuck right at the beginning of COVID there, which was great because I had to stay in Tokyo another 2 weeks before I could get a flight home. So that was awesome. I'm staying in the Roppongi Hills area, and I got a really cheap, really nice hotel, but really cheap, like $50 a night or something like that. And it wasn't really busy, and it was a lot of fun. And I love Tokyo. If it was cheaper, I'd probably think about moving there, but I just can't afford it. Those are the rules. Nice. No politics, no religion. Why I'm looking forward to Ed Visa leading to retirement visa. Why? Because I want to retire here, and once my education's done, I need to. If I want to stay here, I need to get another visa. My house, my rules. The fact a 67-year-old knows how to stream and screen share is impressive. I'm 68. That's even more impressive, right? Yeah, IT's not a good vocation to have with AI taking over everything. Steve says, hi from the USA. First time here. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for coming on board. Where in the USA are you from? Try trucking. Low time invested in training, and you could eliminate all expenses and live in the truck. Yeah, for now, but look what Elon's doing with the cars that are driving themselves. It's not going to be long before the trucks do the same thing. And so who knows how much longer. If you're close to retirement, you're probably okay. But if you're in your 50s and you got a job that AI is going to take over soon, I'd be worried. How much are you paying for school? So I paid 25,000 baht for the first 2 levels. Let me get I'll tell you exactly what the cost is going to be. I only did the first 2 levels. I could have paid for the first 3 or for all 3 levels at once and got a discount. But I was afraid that if I failed miserably, I would have wasted that money if I didn't continue with the 3rd level. So I did the level 1, level 2, and that came to 25,000 baht, which is about a little under $800. Now, when I sign up for level 3, it will be 15,000 baht. So that's about between $450 and $500, depending on the exchange rate, which, by the way, the exchange rate's getting a lot better. So my total cost will be 40,000 total. If I'd signed up for all 3 levels at once, it would have been 38,000. So I would have saved about 2,000 baht, which not that big a deal. That's about $65, something like that. So anyway, so that just includes the school and the books and that. It does not include the visa costs and the extension costs. So every 3 months I have to go in and extend my visa, and that's 1,900 baht. So this will be a 14-month course total. Let's see, actually 13 months total. And so we're talking about 5 extensions, I think. So about 10,000 baht in extensions. So that's the total cost. But yeah, and hopefully I learn enough Thai to be able to communicate. We'll see. AI is a grift. I'm sorry to buy into the craze. I'm sorry you buy into the craze. Year 4 of Gen AI and not one job lost to it. All layoffs are for pumping stock and saving money with the layoffs. I don't know. You could be right. I could be wrong. I could be crazy. I don't know. Saving money with outsourced to India. Sounds like you will need to crack a window after a pickled liver, right? Jerry says, I'm sorry, I meant those are my motivations for leaving and the means to do it there. Oh, I see. Okay, let me see. So let me go back to see what you said. Oh, no politics, no religion. That's why you're looking forward to an ed visa leading to retirement. Oh, say that's your plan. Okay, perfect. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood. My bad. I have half my savings goal. Then I'm out of here. Okay. Is this still live, brother? Yes, we're still live. Chillaxing with Tommy, the Fed. Ooh, the Fed's on board. I will guess it will be a while. Trucks won't require a driver. I'm guessing, if you say a while, I'm guessing within 5 years. I'm guessing within 5 years, you're going to start to see driverless trucks. But like I said, I could be crazy. Did you have to transfer all your money into a Thai bank, or can you use American Bank? What I do is every month when I get my Social Security, I transfer a portion of that over to my Thai bank account. So 65,000 baht I transfer every month into my Thai bank account, and that takes care of me for the month. And then the money I have in my U.S. bank account, I use to pay my U.S. bills, because I still have a storage unit that I need to get rid of. I still have my car in storage, which I plan on selling this year, so I won't have to worry about that. My U.S. phone, which is $55 a month, so I pay for that. And then my credit cards, I've got credit cards that I use, like when I go on trips and I book my flight and I book my hotel, I use my credit cards for that, because then I get cash back, and then I just pay my credit card every month from that. So, but everything here is paid with my Thai bank account. So it works pretty well. And that 65,000 baht really lasts. I mean, I always have money left over. So I'm fairly frugal. I go out to eat, every once in a while. Like last night, I went out with my buddy and we had a few drinks and got some pizza and did some things, and I spent a little bit of money. So, but that's on a rare occasion. And like, going golfing, that would have been which, by the way, I got my money back from my green fees too. So that was kind of cool. So I didn't have to waste my money paying for golf that I couldn't golf. So, what's your rent in your area and how far from downtown Bangkok? So I'm in Phrom Phong, which is, if you're familiar with Sukhumvit is basically, let me see, let me bring up a map and I'll show you exactly. Let's see, make this bigger. Okay, let me share this. I'll show you exactly where the area I live. Let's move this over here. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see that. So let me scroll in here. So this green line here, that's the Sukhumvit BTS, which is the SkyTrain. So this is basically the middle part of Bangkok, the central part of Bangkok. So you see where it says Emporium? That's the Emporium Mall. That's the M malls. There's 3 M malls. There's M Sphere, there's Emporium, and over on the other side is M Quartier. This is Prom Pong. This is the Prom Pong. BTS is would be right here. And so I live down here. I'm about not even a 10-minute walk to the BTS. So this would be the central area. If you go farther, I say north, but it's really northwest, if you want to be technical. If you go farther this way or down Sukhumvit, because the numbers are lower. So if you look here, you'll see the numbers on this side of Sukhumvit Road are even. The numbers on this side are odd. And the farther south you get, or the farther the numbers get higher, the more gap there is between the numbers. So like here now you're at 34, and over here it's 51. When you get down to lower Sukhumvit, they're pretty much the same. So this is a soak. So you got Terminal 21 Mall here, and you got Soy Cowboy over here somewhere. Let's see, it would be probably right here. Yeah, here's Soy Cowboy. That's the famous adult red light district. And then this would be, you could call it 21, but it's really Asok Montri Road is what they call it. So you got Asok BTS here, then you keep going. And then this is Nana. So now the numbers are going to be pretty close together. So here you've got, let's see. This is Nana Road, or Sukhumvit 4. So you got 4 here, and then if you go across the street, this is 3. Here's 5 right here. So they're pretty close in line, but then the farther up Sukhumvit you go, the numbers vary a little more. So I'm in a really decent area. My rent is 25,000 baht a month. So when I was living down in Samut Prakan, which is this is where I lived the first year I was in Bangkok. Lived way down here, all the way. Let's see, all the way to here, which is Samrong. And then I get off that train, and then I take the MRT, one stop to Tippawan, and my condo is literally right here at the stop. This is it. Well, Kensington was behind my condo. For some reason, it doesn't show Knightsbridge, which is where I stayed. I was only paying 12,000 baht a month there. So I'm paying basically double, but I'm in an area where I don't have to travel 40 minutes to get to where all my buddies are and to get to the main part of Bangkok. So I'm saving time and money for the train. And I like the area. It's got great bars, got great restaurants, got great street food, great night markets. The park's right here. This is Benja Kitty Park. You got Benja Siri Park is right there. So you've got some really nice parks that you can walk in. It's just a nice area. I just really like it. And I tell you another area that's really nice, and that's Ekamai. Ekamai is a super neat area, and they've got it's really modern, actually. They've got some really nice malls, and they've got really nice restaurants, and that would be a place. If I didn't live in Phrom Phong, I would probably look into Ekamai and living in this area somewhere. But there's your little map there, guys, so you know. But yeah, 25,000 baht a month is what I pay for rent. My utilities, my water is like 54 baht a month. That's tap water and shower and washing machine. And then my electric is about 2,800 baht a month on average, between 25 and 2,800 a month. So, how are fees for transfer? Is it expensive to transfer? No, I mean, I use Wise. So I think it's about to transfer 65,000 baht, which is about a little over $2,000. I think the fee was like $7 or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it is. So I mean, it's a little bit, but it's not a make or break thing. That's like 24,000 a year with money left over to live. Yeah. I mean, it's like and Bangkok is probably higher priced than most places in the Philippines, definitely in Vietnam, definitely anywhere else in Thailand. So if you can live on 24,000 a year in Bangkok, you can live really nice in other places, and you don't have to live like I wanted to live in this area because I like convenience. So I was willing to pay a little more. In fact, they wanted 30,000 for my condo, but I told my realtor, I said, tell the owner that if he'll drop it down to 25,000 a month, I'll sign a 2-year lease, because I knew I was going to be here long term. And he agreed to it. So I did it. So I got it down to 25,000. So I think I got a pretty good deal. It's about 42 square meters, something like that. It's a nice size. I mean, it's not big compared to what we're used to in the US, but I found early on that you don't need big, that's like that Jen Jones generation thing. You keep up with the Joneses. You got to get the best thing. Bigger house than the neighbor, bigger car than the neighbor, bigger lawnmower than the neighbor, bigger refrigerator, bigger this, bigger that. You don't really need that. And I've really become kind of a minimalist since I moved out here, and I don't miss the big things. Like my refrigerator is barely 5 feet high, but I don't do a lot of cooking here, so I don't need that big double freezer, to store all my meat in and all that stuff. I don't need all of that now, I don't need a big grill, So I'm happy. I'm happy being a minimalist. Do you use a traveling mailbox, or how do you handle your US mail? So my home mail is my cousin's address back in Nebraska. So all my mail goes there. Traveling mailboxes are good too, but I just haven't had to use it. If he ever sells his house, I'll probably have to do something like that. But yeah, that's what I use. Do the Thais accept Wise transfer for rent or similar payment, or straight up cash? They will. I used to use, before I got my bank account, I used Wise to pay for my rent when I was down in Samut Prakan. And then all of a sudden it declined it. And I think the reason was because I had it set up wrong. I didn't have it set up as a corporation or a company. I had it set up as an individual, and it was actually the company. So it started to decline it. But I was able to use my US bank card, my debit card, to pay for my rent at the juristic office. They had a little machine, that's the tap machine, and I started doing it that way. But if you set your Wise account up right, before I had my bank account here, when I moved here, I was using Wise to transfer the funds. But now I just use my Thai bank, and it's easy peasy. So having a bank account here makes a lot of things easier. I will tell you that. BTS, it's just the Sky Train. I don't know what it actually stands for. Bangkok Transit System, I think. But it's like the Sky Train, and then you've got the MRT, which is the the metro, which is the subway. Um, so you got those two systems, but they run all over. You can get pretty much anywhere in Bangkok using either the BTS or the MRT. That's what's really nice about Bangkok. They've got that. Just saying, there will be a place for rent across from Soy Cowboy mid-month in April. Yeah, somebody's moving to the province. Good luck with that, Bobby. Oh, and thanks for being a member, by the way. If you want to be a member, just go to my channel and you can be a member. It's only 99 cents a month. You get to see videos before anybody else. So I lived in Ratchadamri intersection and could see Central World from my window. That's a neat area. That when you get off the Siam or the is it Chitlom BTS, that's a really nice area. That's a little high end. So you're going to see a lot of really expensive malls, really expensive stores, but it's really neat. I like that area. Yeah, that's the best when you can walk out your front door. Yeah, absolutely. JJ, we had breakfast together the morning prior to Super Bowl. I applied my pension and Social Security and selling my car. May 1st is my new birthday. Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, I remember you, Tommy. Was it O'Shea's where we had breakfast? Is that where we had it? And thank you for that, by the way. You bought breakfast for me. Yeah, O'Shea's 7-piece breakfast plus a free drink. If your rent is about 1/3 your monthly expense, or so, yeah, I would say it's about 1/3. It's 25,000, little more than 1/3. I live on 20,000 a year in North Louisiana, very low cost of living part of the U.S. As a single dude, Bangkok is about the same for a nice place with much more beautiful women compared to where I live. Absolutely, that's the trade-off. I was talking to my friend the other day, or yesterday actually, and I called it the BP. Let's see. I called it the BPC. And he goes, "What's BPC?" I said, "The BPC in Bangkok is high." He goes, "What's BPC?" I said, "Baddies per capita." And he goes, "Baddies?" I go, "Yeah, like hot women." The baddies per capita is off the chain here in Bangkok. You can't walk a half a block without seeing 2 or 3 beautiful Thai women. They're just everywhere, and it's not fair. Bigger wife, bigger life, better life. That's what she said. Good info. Be a farmer. Yeah, good luck with that, Bobby. I'm using Gen Z speak. You know, I gotta appeal to the masses. I got priced out of my own neighborhood. I'm out. Uh-oh. That's not good. But yeah, I mean, the reason I moved out here is to date Asian women, and I moved to the Philippines first because it's really easy to date in the Philippines, and you can date really young girls if you want. I mean, obviously of age, 18, 20, 24. You can be 60. I've seen 70-year-olds dating 20-year-olds. Personally, I'm more in the mid 30s to 40 range. That's kind of my sweet spot, I guess. I just feel like they're a little more matured. They're not so focused on doing TikTok and Instagram and crap like that all the time. They're not doing selfies all the time like these 20-somethings. And they pay more attention to you than their phone, or their social media. So, hey, JJ, do you keep in touch with your growing-up children back home? Video chat daily or so? Do you miss seeing them in person? I do miss them, but they're growing. They're doing their own thing. So, we keep in contact every once in a while, but not on a regular basis. So, Yesterday, I was told $7 for a 2-hour massage in Thailand. $7 US, which would be about 250 baht. That's pretty good for a 2-hour massage. Where in Thailand was that? Probably not Bangkok, I would say. Sweet spot. I get it. You got to pay for these women, though, and factor it in to your budget. Yeah, but you can find like the girl I dated in the Philippines, the last girl I dated, she was not into all the money. She never really asked me for money. She never really complained about anything. And in fact, we'd go somewhere and she would always try to find the cheapest item on the menu, or she would say, "Well, we can go somewhere else that's cheaper." Or she would say, "I can just cook this at home for a lot cheaper." So she was always very frugal. But that's what happens when you date somebody that's a little older. She's 37 now. So she works. So she understood the concept of budget and how far a dollar or a peso goes. She understood that, where some of these 20 somethings, they don't get that yet. So they're not to that point yet. So at that point, it is about money. It is transactional. I'm in my late 50s, still rocking the house here in the US. Good for you. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Like, take a Dutchman for what he means, not what he says. Is that what the saying goes? I asked a YouTuber if they still had $8 massages, and she said 7 for 2 hours. I think Bangkok. I've never seen $7 massages in Bangkok. It's generally about 300 baht. Sometimes you can find it for 250. That's about an hour. That's for an hour. Now maybe it's if it's like a foot massage or something like that, maybe you can get it cheaper. But I don't think you're going to find $7 2-hour massages in Bangkok. I don't think those exist anymore. 300 baht is about where the prices start. Once in a while, and that's for an hour. Once in a while, you can find something for 250, but 300 is usually. That's a big deal with my girlfriend, young and not completely tainted by money like some have been. Yeah, I'm 29. Women my age are irritating. Trying to find some cougars. There you go. You're the opposite. You're dating older. That's good. All right, where are we at here? We're at a little over an hour and a half. We'll keep going. We got 28 on board, so we can kind of open up the chat to anything you guys want to talk about. We've kind of hit a lot of subjects, so that's good. Make sure you hit that like button, guys. That really helps me. Hit that thumbs up. That helps the algorithm. So when this posts afterwards, it gets seen by more people. So I would appreciate that. Let's see. What else is on your guys' mind? Anything? We can talk about dating if you want. Completely up to you guys. That's $10. Yeah, almost $10, 300 baht. But really, that's not bad. I mean, I would pay $10 for a massage anywhere. I mean, you can't get that. You can't even get it in the door for $10 in the US for a massage. I mean, you can't even tip them $10. That's like an insult to them. Have you been to Chatuchak Market? Yes, I have. Many, many times. Weekend market. It's the biggest weekend market in Thailand. It's really cool, but it's very touristy. So you're going to pay a little more in prices for things. But it's a neat experience. Have you been there yet, Bobby? If you want to go, I'll go with you. I'll take you there if you want. Why don't you wait until this afternoon, and I'll go with you if you want. talk about the mindset and deciding to stay and live in USA, dealing with the doubts, etc. Yeah. So in 2015, um, I got into a long distance relationship with a Filipina online, and she was an OFW, overseas foreign worker, working in Hong Kong as a housekeeper, and she's taking care of a family with two kids, and she got time off in December to go home to see her family back in the Philippines for Christmas. So I was, newly divorced, basically newly divorced, and decided I'm going to go see her. And we've been talking for about 4 or 5 months, I would guess. And so I got my passport, and I got my passport in October, and I showed her, and then I booked my flight to Manila for December, and it was really expensive. It was like $2,800. But I'm going in December, during the high season. So, and anyway, so I went there, met her, had a great time. We continued to kind of date. We were going to get the K-1 visa. I fell head over heels, and then we broke up in 2016. And then I started seeing another girl in the Philippines, and I started seeing her, going there a couple of times a year, back and forth. And in 2020, we were going to do the K-1 visa, and I got through the whole process, and then she backed out. She didn't want to move to the U.S. So contrary to popular belief, guys, not all Asian girls want to marry you just to get their green card. This girl didn't want to leave the Philippines. So, and I didn't want to live in her province. It was a little tiny little province in Leyte. So we broke up. And that's when I went back to Tokyo, and that's where I got stuck in COVID. That's a whole thing. But my mindset had changed at that point. And back in 2016, I had a contract signed to teach English in China, 15 months, and I was ready to sign it. But then I got cold feet, and I got a job offer in Louisville, Kentucky. So I took that instead. Looking back, I'm kind of glad that happened, but I always wanted to move to Asia. And when I got the next opportunity, which would have been 2021 with the last company I worked for, I took it, and it's like, nothing's going to change my mind. I'm going full force. And that was my mindset. I want to get out of the US, and I want to go to Asia, and I want to live there. I want to work there, and I want to find another girlfriend there. So that was my mindset. So hope that answers your question, Jay. Effing great. If no women, how much to live there? I don't date here, really. I mean, I could. I don't know. It just depends on the woman, and how much you want to spend. I mean, if you got a woman that expects expensive things and go to rooftop bars and spend 2,000 baht a night on drinks, and go to all the fancy malls and get all the fancy clothes and that, you're going to spend a lot of money. You're going to spend as much money as you would in the US. But if you got a girl that's like very frugal and very, ordinary, basically, not necessarily in looks, but in lifestyle, she's happy going to a street market and paying 100 baht for 2 meals. She's super happy with that. So I think it could go either way. You can go from one extreme to another, and every point in between, I think. What's the rent for a small, nice 1-bedroom in a nice area near the beach? Well, there's no beach here in Bangkok, so you can get something fairly cheap in Hua Hin and Pattaya. I'm not sure what kind of prices, but I think you could probably find something that's decent for under 20,000 baht a month. So that's under $600. So probably around 500, you can probably find something. Damn tourists. Nope, I haven't been. Okay, awesome. I'll message you, Bobby, when I get done with the live stream. The price for a massage in Isan is about 200 baht, and I think that would be 1 hour. Yeah, if you're up in Isan, yeah, you're going to find it a lot cheaper. But if we're talking Bangkok, that's not going to be the case. So, yeah, but you're right, Marty. Hey, Dave. Good morning, JJ. Good morning, Dave. Thanks for coming on board. Thailand population will peak around 71 million in 2030 and decline to around 65 million by 2050. Democratic decline is real in Thailand. Yeah. The age, the median age is increasing in Thailand. It's an issue. That's another issue. 98 minutes early. Good for you. But you made it. You're here. Are the roosters edible in the province? I doubt it. I don't think so. They're more for fighting. Thumbs up. Yes, do the thumbs up, guys. And what's up with the shitty beef? I don't know. Beef here is pretty good. The beef in the Philippines probably not so good. I want to go to Asia so I can start making my next big mistake. I'm planning a trip to Bangkok in May. Awesome, Dave. Good. Let's get together. All right. Got to have my coffee. Since we're all being honest, I might as well keep it real with y'all. If I ever go to prison, best believe I'm being somebody's nut rack. Okay. Hope you don't go to prison then, just for your sake. If my Leyte girlfriend's passport comes through. Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, that's where my girlfriend was, in Leyte. She was in Mahaplag, which is southern Leyte, just a tiny little village. I could not live there. It's just too remote. I'm guessing Thai prison is the real deal. Yeah, you're probably right. I don't plan on spending any time in any prison. I don't care what country. I'm going to keep everything clean, above board. How's your ed visa coming along? Good. We're about 2 weeks into level 2 on my courses. Got another new teacher, so this is our third teacher. But yeah, things are good. A lot of this level is more learning new vocabulary, learning sentence structure, things like that. How to write, obviously, and how to read. So that's a lot of what we're learning now. Anything you miss from the West, or you get by with no issues? I would say friends and family, obviously. Football, American football. I miss going to college football games. I have to watch them here at like 2 a.m. If I want to watch them live. And there's some food in the U.S. that's just better than anywhere out here. But I tell you what, Thailand's got great food. I mean, of all kinds. They got, obviously, the Thai food is off the hook, but you've got all the Western foods here. You've got all the Asian foods, Middle Eastern, if you like that, Mediterranean. They've got it all here. And it's all really, really good. I've not had a bad meal since I've been to Bangkok. So, but yeah, I would say college football and my family and friends. I miss the most. Driving. I miss driving, Yeah, I hope she's not bent on having to live in Tacloban province. Yeah, Tacloban's kind of a mess. Where do the wealthy in Bangkok live? I don't know. I don't know where they live. I'm sure there are areas, but I don't think I've been there. I got canned by a Thai woman for stepping out of line. Uh-oh, not good. During COVID, I was asked if I wanted to teach in China. And you said, yes, no? How's your Thai girlfriend doing, the one you won't tell us about? That's another thing. I will never tell you guys about my relationships. You're just never going to know. How would you compare Filipinas versus Thai women? um, in what areas? I mean, it's easier to date Filipinas. They're a lot easier, especially age gap dating. That's a lot easier. Um, I think I think overall Thai women are more beautiful, but that's not to say that Filipinas aren't beautiful. But I think just overall, um, the majority of Thai women are more beautiful than Filipino women. Um, I think I think they dress better here in Thailand than the Philippines, and I think that's part of. I think partly because this is a like a middle income or middle class country, whereas the Philippines is a lower class or poverty country. So it's just you're not going to see a lot of um, of women in the Philippines dressed really nice. Most of them are shorts, t-shirt, flip flops. You know, unless you get into like areas of Makati or BGC, and then you'll see them dress a little nicer. So Steve said no, he did not take the job. Okay. Why won't I talk about my relationship? Because I've seen YouTubers get crucified for being in a relationship and then it not working out. So it's like I'm not going to go there. I'm not. You'll never know when I'm dating a girl. You'll never know if I get married again. You'll never know any of that stuff. So I just want to keep that part of my life separate from my YouTube. I'm going to go to get me some pineapple over in Terminal 21 and hang out in the AC. Text me when you're done. Okay, I will. Would you ever consider moving back to the Philippines? I don't, you never say never, but right now I can't see me doing that, living there. I'll go back and visit, time to time. I don't mind that, but I don't see me living there. I just don't think it would be, I don't think I would be happy. Would like to buy you a Guinness when I get there for all the help on my way to Pattaya for Thai language school. Awesome. I think I would have chosen your school if not for the private VA affiliated clinic. Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, that's a big plus in Pattaya. You got that clinic there, the VA clinic. Why the difference? Why the difference between Filipina and Thai girls? Culture too. I mean, Thai girls, I think, are a little more conservative for the most part. And we're not talking about we're not going into the freelancers or the girls that work at bars. We're not talking about those girls. We're talking about a typical Thai girl versus a typical Filipina. I think Thai girls are more conservative. Yes, Filipinas are Catholic for the most part, but I think that term is very loosely given. I don't think they're strictly practicing Catholicism in the Philippines like you would think. But in Thailand, the majority are Buddhist, and I think that religion and that culture is a little more conservative, and so I think that plays a lot into it. Just my opinion. Would you be interested in having any more children with a younger woman? No, I'm too old to be a dad again. If now let me qualify that. If I got into a relationship with a woman that had a child already and I truly love that woman, then yeah, I would bring that child into our family. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But that child would have to be older. I could not do a toddler or younger. I just couldn't do that again. And I definitely couldn't have a new baby. First of all, I can't. I have had a vasectomy. I've been snipped, guys. So that's out of the question. But no, I would not. But if she already had a kid, then that would be something else. So good to know you're not just hanging out with Gio. Gio's in Africa, man. He'll be back April 1st, I think. But I don't think he's staying here. I think he's I think he's made a decision that he doesn't want to live full time in Bangkok. So we'll see. I'll let him just make that announcement, I guess. But that's just my gut feeling in Pattaya. Yeah. That new camera angle is great. Your girlfriend's input must be really helping the live stream quality. You guys, come on. Uh, I don't get the whole fear of discussing or revealing relationship status. I am married and very proud of my wife. Yeah, but you're not on YouTube. I mean, as far as I know. But let's take Geo, for instance. Sorry, lost my Wi-Fi for a second. I don't know what happened. Um, yeah, so we're talking about revealing relationships when you're on YouTube or social media. Geo was very transparent. You know, he had Maya as his girlfriend, and then they got married, but then it didn't work out. So he got crucified because he had originally said he's never getting married again, but then he got a steady girlfriend, and he got married, and then he got divorced. So people were really on him about the whole divorce thing. And there were YouTubers that were taking advantage of that by doing videos about his divorce and putting their opinion on that. And he had to get them removed from YouTube. So I just don't want to get in that position. And I wouldn't think it would be fair for the girl, if I was in a relationship, to be in that position too. I just don't think that would be fair to her to be put in that relationship or be put in that position. So that's my feeling on it. But other people have other ideas. Some people like to put their girl on their YouTube channel because if she's pretty, then they think that they'll get more views because she's pretty. There's a guy here, I think he's Australian, and I think his girlfriend's Thai. And I won't mention the name of the channel. You may know what I'm talking about, but that's all they do. He shows her all the time, and she's got a rocking body. So I don't blame him. But if it was just him, I doubt he would get nearly the views that he does by showing her off, because he'll show her in bikinis all the time. He'll show her getting these erotic massages where it's pretty much showing almost everything. And he gets a lot of views and he has a lot of subscribers because of that. But if she wasn't on there, who knows? It might not be that way. Let's see. Technology is on the verge of international translation. Okay. What's going on, man? Hey, Mohit 76. Just doing my thing. Are there a lot of bugs in Bangkok? No, there aren't. You don't see a lot. Once in a while, you'll see a fly or two here and there. I've never been bothered by mosquitoes. Um, you know, I grew up in the Midwest in Nebraska, and the bugs are crazy there during the summer. You got moths and we call them millers, the smaller moths, and they're everywhere. And you got the June bugs, and you got flies everywhere, and you got mosquitoes that are huge. And if you're driving down the highway, within a mile, your windshield is just splattered with bugs. But you don't have that here. It's not as prevalent as you would think. So it's not really an issue, which is great. How was the process? Was thinking of it, but scared. Well, I had to sit on a bag of ice for a few days. Is that the second cup of coffee on the table? Is that a second coffee cup on the table? Someone's definitely living their best life. Well, I got my Yeti, so everything stays hot now. I ordered that on Lazada, and I was a little afraid it was going to be a knockoff, but it's the real Yeti. So keeps my stuff really warm. Mentioned Geo and it froze. Must be a jinx thing. No tricking a child out of JJ. So yeah, no, not going to happen. My youngest niece is a miracle baby post vasectomy. Uh-oh, careful. Well, my vasectomy was 29 years ago, so I doubt I've got any swimmers that aren't just dust by now. So I don't think I have to worry about it. He dumped that thing. Have you been victim of crime in Thailand? No, I have not. I've been scammed in the Philippines a couple of times, but not like mugged. Now, my friend from that I was out with last night, he got mugged in the Philippines. This was back when he was in the Navy, and he got robbed, but he'd been partying all night, so only had like $20 left in his wallet, so he gave him that. And the robber was a jeepney driver and his accomplice, and he goes, "Okay, I'll give you." He goes, "I'm not going to give you my money," and the guy says, "Stab him," because he had like a screwdriver that was sharpened to a point. And he goes, "Okay, I'll give you my money, but you got to give me a ride back to the ship or to the wherever he was stationed." And so they did. They gave him a ride back. So it's like, okay, that was a $20 ride, a little more expensive than usual, but I thought that was a funny story. Wait, did anyone else see the reflection in the TV at 412? The mystery deepens. Yeah, you're full of it, dude. Pimps. Are you recovered from your accident? I'm recovering from my accident. It's a slow. I feel better. I got more motion in my shoulder now, but it still hurts. Like I sneezed this morning and my bruised ribs. Oh, that was definitely painful. I've sneezed twice since I've had this accident, and both times it felt like I got stabbed. It was really bad. Is it true the plane tickets to the other Asian places are really cheap? Example, Vietnam, Philippines, Tokyo. I haven't looked lately. It might be higher now because of the issues going on with Iran and the Strait of Hormuz. But it's really cheap to fly to like Vietnam. Tokyo probably. Philippines is a little higher price for some reason. I don't know why that is, but definitely Vietnam's cheap. I mean, I can do round trip for $100 from here to Da Nang or Ho Chi Minh City and back. So yeah, it is generally cheaper. That's what's great about having Bangkok as my home base, because I can fly. Like I want to go to Kuala Lumpur sometime this year, hopefully. And so the airline tickets are usually pretty cheap there. I can fly to like Da Nang, Vietnam again, or I can fly to Tokyo or Philippines relatively cheap. I think Philippines is about $200 round trip, but the other places are a lot cheaper. So yeah, that's what's nice about having Bangkok as your home base. You got 2 international airports to choose. Sewer rats are a problem here. Here, I've only seen 1 rat here in Bangkok since I've been here. I've seen a few in the Philippines, and I've seen a lot in Vietnam. Seems like Vietnam rats are almost domesticated. They don't care if they're out in public or not. I definitely get snipped over there. Yeah. Yeah. If you're old like me, I mean, why would you want another child? So why even take the chance? But I would wrap up your buddy anyway, guys, because you just never know about, other things you can get mugged. Are you optimistic about the Philippines in another 5 to 10 years, or do you think it will get left behind by Vietnam and Thailand? I think the Philippines is just going to wallow in their own misery. I don't think they'll ever get out of it. I don't think they can get out of their own way, which is sad because it could be such a great country. He bargained with the thief. Yeah, isn't that funny? Have you ever left your bag in the Philippines like you have in Thailand? Curious how that would go. I have not. If I had, I probably would have to get a new bag because I think that would be gone. For some reason, I just don't think people are as honest. What was your accident? Oh, I got in a motorcycle accident when I was in Hua Hin. Went down there last weekend to do a 2-day golf outing and got in an accident the first day before we even got on the golf course. Fractured my scapula back here. Might have fractured my shoulder. They're not sure. Bruised my ribs on the right side. So I'm slowly on the mend. I feel a lot better, but the ribs still hurt and the back still hurts on occasion. I'm just loading up on ibuprofen every once in a while. Takes time, bro. Yeah. Hang in there. Yeah. Have you considered exploring the south of India, like Kerala or Goa or even Maldives? My buddy went to Maldives. He's a diver, though. I'm not a diver. So he loved it. He said that was the best dive he ever had. I've never had any inkling, any remote thought of going to India. Just not on my radar at all. Do you think you may have a cracked rib from the fall? I don't know. He said it was just probably bruised, but I don't know if that x-ray, they sent me the x-rays, but for some reason they only sent me the 2 shoulder x-rays. They didn't send me the back x-ray. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't know what it would feel like if there'd be any difference between a cracked or a bruised rib. But it's getting better every day. I think if it was cracked, I would have a hard time breathing, I would think. But I don't know. Da Nang looks banging. I love Da Nang. That's one of my favorite cities. Motorcycle accident. The story reminds me of stories from my Navy days. Yeah. Well, this was back when he was in the Navy, so it would have been probably mid-90s, I would say. From Pattaya when I was there. Oh, right. Oh, your Navy days. Yeah, I bet that was fun. Snakes, Asian water monitors. Yeah, if you go to Lumpini Park, you're going to see lots of monitor lizards there. They're everywhere there, and some of them you might see in Benjikiti Park, but I've never seen any in Benjikiti. But snakes, I did see one snake when I was living in Samut Prakan. It was during the rainy season, so it was like probably November, something like that. And I was walking home, and I got inside the gate of my condo building, and I'm walking around the side. I never went through the front. I always walked around the side where the parking garages are, and I went in the back building because that's where my unit was, took the elevators. But when I walked around the side, on the sidewalk there, right at the building, there was a snake. I videotaped it because I wanted to post it in my shorts, but I ended up never doing it. But that was the only snake I ever saw, and I don't know what kind of snake it was. I don't know if it was poisonous or not. I couldn't even tell you. It was probably about 3.5 feet long. So it wasn't huge, but it was definitely a snake. Do the doctors prescribe narcotic pain pills for broken bones? They did prescribe 2 pain pills for me. I don't think they were narcotic though. I think they were just basic. I don't know what they were. I don't even know what they were, but they're probably just a little stronger than the ibuprofen I'm taking now. But I don't think they were narcotic. So, but I told them it's kind of a pretty high tolerance for pain. So when he asked, what's your pain level? And I said, oh, about a 7. If I'd said a 10, he probably would have maybe given me something a little stronger. I should lie from now on. Wrap them up, breathe shallow. I don't have a problem breathing. I can breathe. It hurts a little bit, but like I said, I have a high pain tolerance, so it doesn't really bother me. Have you put that X-ray in different AI? You'd be surprised how good they are at analysis. Yeah, that's a good idea. I might do that. Check that out. Are there slums in Bangkok? Yeah, there are slums in Bangkok. Not as shallow as my personality. Okay. You're a funny guy. How much is health insurance in Thailand? I'm paying about 117 a month for travel insurance, but it's only for major major medical issues. So I've got that covered. So if something major happens to me, like if I broke a femur on my bike accident, I'd probably use that. If I needed to, like, I have an emergency flight back home to the US, it covers that. But this accident, I paid out of pocket. I talked about this at the beginning. So if you missed it, there's my expenses. It came to 2,872 baht, but they gave me a refund because I couldn't come back every day to have my bandages redressed for my scrape on my knee. So they reimbursed me for those 5 days that I wouldn't be there. So it only came to 7,472 baht. And then the next day I went and met with a orthopedic surgeon, and that was another 1,000. So the whole thing cost about $270 total. So I just paid out of pocket. It was a lot easier for me. Red and yellow will kill a fellow. Red and black, you okay, Jack? You talk about bruising? I saw a little bit of yellow on my side where my ribs are, and the doctor saw that too. So the red and black is like you're got internal bleeding. Is that what you mean? I assume that's what you meant. Of a shipmate has a story from Pattaya about a ladyboy. We told him, and he was so sure we were wrong because he had never heard of one. Oh, they can definitely fool you here. Snake. How much is surgical transitioning in Thailand? I wouldn't know. Are you interested, Eaton? Are you asking for a friend or what? I don't know, but I heard they do a pretty good job. They even do they'll shave your Adam's apple. There's a very famous lady boy here in Thailand that had that operation. She's got a little scar there, but if she keeps her chin down, you don't notice it. But there's a YouTube channel here that interviewed her a couple of times. But yeah, so they do that. Obviously, if you're out on Soy Cowboy or Nana or somewhere, and you see these huge fake boobs, chances are it's a lady boy, and then they do a pretty good job with the tuck. But some of them are post-op, so some of them don't even have the same plumbing as they did when they were born. So sometimes it's hard to tell. Red and yellow snake. Oh, red and yellow snakes. Oh, okay. This was black, like a dark color, as far as I can remember. So I don't know. Thai insurance, Pacific Cross, 10 million baht coverage, 40,000 baht deductible. I bought when I was 62. I'm 70 now. The premium is 78,000 baht a year, and I'm getting 20% no claims discount. Nice. All right, so let's break this down. Let's put it in US dollars so you guys can kind of figure out what he's talking about here. So 10 million baht coverage is a little over, it's about $309,000 in coverage. So that's pretty decent coverage. And then 40,000 baht deductible. That's about 1,200 baht, a little over 1,200. $1,200 deductible. So that's pretty good. And then 78,000 a year in premium. So that's $2,400. So that's about $200 a month. That's not bad. And then you get a 20% discount on that, or is the 78,000 your 20% discount? So that's not bad, actually. And will it go up as you age, Marty, or will it only go up if you actually have to use the insurance? I'd be interested to know that. Some people travel from the U.S. to Thailand for medical care. Yeah, medical care is really good here. It's top notch, especially here in Thailand. Especially the private hospitals. That's a banana split. Yeah, that's a banana split. 2408. There you go. 78,000. Yeah. Yeah, that's about $2,400 a year in premium, which is a lot cheaper than what I would be paying in the U.S. if I didn't have like Medicare or whatever. Doctors in the U.S. can be not very good. How about in Thailand? I think they're good. I mean, my doctor was really good. The doctors in the U.S. Here's my take on it. I think they're so embedded with big pharma and all that they push the drugs that the big pharma is paying them to push. So they're going to prescribe you medicine that you may not need, or procedures that you may not need. Well, my doctor, my orthopedic surgeon that looked at my shoulder, he said, well, you should have it. The only way to tell if it's broke or if it's just bruised is to do a CT scan, which he told me was 9,000 baht. And I asked him, I go, well, what's the difference in treatment if it's just a bruise or if it's broke? He goes, really no treatment, no difference. You can't really treat a broken bone or a fracture on your shoulder. So I said, well, okay, well, in that case, I don't want the CT scan. He goes, well, that's a good choice. So he actually told me that was a good choice to not do the CT scan, because really, it doesn't matter if it's broke or not, this treatment's the same. And so I saved 9,000 baht by not doing it. My shipmate sure found out Ladyboy was not post-op. We had to stop him before he did something to land him in Thai jail. Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. A lot of these ladyboys won't tell you up front. They hope for the best, and sometimes that's not a good thing. I find out of the price increases this year at 70 years old. Okay, yeah. Let me know, Marty. I'm getting close there. You 65 plus got Medicare. Yeah. I got just the first part. I didn't pay for the second part because I can't use it here. So it does me no good unless I'm in the US. So you should do a healthcare video, JJ, now that you have some real experience with it. I did a video. My last video is about my accident and my medical care. So I got that. But it hasn't hit 1,000 views yet. So it didn't get a lot of views. So heal well. Thanks for the entertainment. No problem, Pepster. Thanks for coming on board this morning. So we still got 35 on. So we'll keep going. As long as I got coffee, we'll keep going. Chat's been great today. You guys have been awesome. It's make my job real easy. Just reading your comments. What else is on you guys' mind? We'll go to the bottom of the hour. Still, if we got people on, we'll keep going. But we'll go to the bottom of the hour. Anything else on your mind? We got St. Patrick's Day coming up. You guys got plans for St. Patty's Day? Are you going to be in Bangkok? If you are, let me know. I'll join you for a Guinness. Yes, Dave. Thank you. Yeah, hit that thumbs up, guys. I would really appreciate that. That would be great. Up for a joke? Yeah, why not? Try to keep it PG. I'll go watch your last video on healthcare. Oh, yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. Can 2,000 per month in passive income make a decent migration to Bangkok? Yes, but you really need a lot of money up front because there's a lot of upfront expenses. Obviously, the move here, you're going to have to, airline tickets and travel expenses and things like that. you're going to have to pay 2 months rent and 2 months deposit, or 1 month's rent, 2 months deposit. You're going to have to pay something like that. So you're going to pay more upfront for getting into a rental place. So all these upfront costs are going to, so you really need some savings. I would always say, have a few $1,000s in savings, maybe, $5,000 or $10,000 in savings, and then have a steady income of at least $2,000 a month, like yours is. If it's one of those incomes that fluctuate, then you might have to be careful, because if it drops under 2,000, then you got to dig into your savings. And really, your savings should be for your upfront costs moving and any emergencies like medical and things like that. So if you got some savings already, the 2,000 a month, if it's going to be steady 2,000 a month, definitely doable. That's about 60,000 baht a month, and you can actually live pretty good. You're an animal. Why do mermaids wear seashells? They grew out of their bee shells. That's a dad joke. Yes, thanks for the entertainment information. No problem, Jerry. Appreciate it. NCAA tournament starts tomorrow. Well, selection Sunday starts. So we're going to know. Nebraska limped into the Big Ten championship. They got their ass kicked by Purdue. So going in, they were supposed to be looking at a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament, but I wouldn't be surprised if they dropped to a 4. But yeah, looking forward to Selection Sunday. I'll be up tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. here, watching it live. Thai women I have met are extremely possessive. That normal? I guess they can be. I guess Filipinas are like that too. They're very possessive, which isn't a bad thing. Filipinas can be very clingy, which can be kind of suffocating at times, but I don't mind that. Grew out of their bee shells. Yeah, I got it, Timmy. If I got 14,000, how far that get me there? Well, if you've got a income to go along with that, you'll be fine. 14,000 in savings, and then an income of I would say at least $2,000 US a month. You're gonna be fine. You won't have any problems. Back home, we see nurses, no doctor around. It is a lower standard of care. Yeah, I know. And you wait in the waiting room for 30 minutes. Then you go in, nurse comes in, takes your vitals. You may see a nurse practitioner for 30 seconds. You maybe see a doctor for 30 seconds. And then if it's something that's like, you need to see a specialist. So then they got to recommend you to a specialist. You just can't go to a specialist first. And then that 30-second visit with the doctor costs you $200 or more. I don't even know what it is now. So yeah, it's ridiculous. Dave knew the answer to that. When do the mermaids get into their double D shells? That's what I want to know. You sold your speakers, okay? For someone that doesn't like big city vibe and prefer rural solitude, Buddhist monastery, where are good places? Where I've been, Hua Hin is pretty laid back. It's an older community, I would say. It's kind of like a retirement village, but you're right on the beach, and it's really cheap to live there, and it's pretty laid back. So I think that might be something you would want to look into. I miss them shits. Excuse the typo, no problem. Yukon, or what's GFY? I don't know what GFY is. Yukon. Michigan squeaked by Wisconsin today. Was that the final or is that the semis? Finals are tonight, right? I'm in the process of getting my life in 2 backpacks. Good for you. Yeah. You know what, guys? Don't bring a lot of clothes. You can buy clothes here, and you can buy them really cheap and really decent clothes here. So just bring maybe a week's worth of clothes. You don't need all that stuff. I see guys, I see guys walking and they look like shit. I mean, their t-shirts look like they're 20 years old. They're all stretched out and they're wearing these old cargo pants and old flip-flops. And I'm thinking to myself, it's like, did they actually pack those clothes in their luggage when they came here? It's like, why would you pack? Is that the best outfit they've got? It's like, dude, just pack some basic stuff, underwear, socks, few pairs of shorts, few shirts, get here and go to the night markets and buy some cheap clothes that are nice, and you'll be golden, and you'll be golden because you can buy a whole wardrobe. You can fill your whole closet for under, 5,000 baht probably. Sold my 71 Chevelle. Oh, nice. I had a 66 Mustang. I wish I still had. Getting ready. How much stuff did you take with you from the West? I had like 2 suitcases. I took too much. I took suits because I thought I would use them for work, and I didn't. So I gave all that away. Right now, I've got a closet that I probably need to go through and get rid of a lot of clothes that I don't wear anymore. But I didn't take a lot of extra stuff. I took some DVDs, movies that I had, which I have a DVD player now here. So I've actually been watching some of those movies. It's been kind of cool. But yeah, just don't take a lot. I bought everything I needed here. Will you go to Bali for holiday? Probably not. I've heard Bali's kind of gotten off the rails a little bit, a little too touristy, a little too crowded. With 14K, get a TEFL and earn some dough to go broke slower. Yeah, I've got my 120, I think a 120-hour TEFL because I was going to teach English. But now once I get into retirement, well, with an education visa and a retirement visa, you can't work here in Thailand. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't. But I have no desire to work. They got good tailors there. Yeah, they do. A lot of good tailors here. Filipinos I have met are okay with very open relationships. That's very unusual. I would dress poorly to fit in with poor locals. Yeah. Well, you don't want to show off your wealth. You don't want to go to, but you don't want to go to the other extreme because then you're not going to get, if you're looking to date Thai women, nobody's going to look at you. You're just going to be one of those broke ass farang. So you don't want that. Large size you might have to bring with you, and some good hot weather travel clothing can be good. Yeah. If you're like a triple X guy, you probably need to bring more stuff with you. What is DVD? I don't even know what it stands for. It's a way to watch movies. I'm kidding. But I've got Amazon Prime, so I got movies on that I bought. So, but with DVDs, you actually own the movie. Amazon Prime, you don't really own it, even though you bought it. You got game? Okay, good. Glad to hear. You mentioned DVD. Can I get a Blu-ray player if I bring a few Blu-rays and DVDs? Yeah, but you got to remember, if you buy the Thailand or the Asian version, your DVDs or your Blu-rays may not work on that. So you got to get the ones that say Universal Play. So if you don't bring it, you can order it on Amazon. You're going to pay a little bit more for the import fees, but you'll be sure that you're getting the right player that's going to play your actual movies. Does Amazon delivery work well over there? Yeah, it does. It works really well. But like I said, they do have import fees that you'll pay a little extra. What do you use to make your morning coffee? Actually, I just use instant right now. I buy a bag at 7-Eleven and heat my coffee up on my with heat my hot water up, and then I just mix it. It tastes okay. I want to get a coffee maker, but it's hard to find here. They don't really have coffee makers. I might get a French press. I might do that, do the French press way. I just jailbroke on Streamer. Okay. Get a VPN. Yes, I've got Surfshark VPN, and that's in my descriptions too, guys. If you want to get a VPN, look into Surfshark. The links in my descriptions. Are there decent gyms in your area? I got a great gym on the 42nd floor or 41st floor of my condo building. But there are good gyms. There are really good gyms here. There's one right down on between Brompong and Asok. It's called 24 Fitness or something like that, or 24 Fit. And it's really good. And they've got a lot of good gyms. A little pricey, but if you need the full ensemble of everything you need to get a full workout, you'll probably have to get a gym membership. The gym upstairs, the fitness center upstairs, is good for me. I just do the basics. I don't do anything, too extreme. But they got the dumbbells that go up to 50 pounds. They got the weight machines. They got a barbell rack, so you can lift. You can do some free weights. And they got they got the treadmills and they got the bikes, so they got everything I need. Then question is it worth it? Is what worth it? What were we talking about? Oh, the DVD. Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you got a bunch of movies that you like watching on a regular basis, yeah, I think it's worth it. It's not that DVDs are cheap. You can get a DVD for like $30 now. Don't be lazy with your coffee. Yeah, I know. I love coffee, but if I go out, there's a neat little coffee shop right across the street from my condo. It's called Sarah J's, and there's people I see there when I go there that go there almost every day, so I know them and I can sit with them. I like to go down to 39 Craft Coffee, which is right off Sukhumvit, because I can buy my Thai food, go inside, order my coffee, and eat my food and have my coffee super cheap. So those are the two places I really like. Cafe Amazon's good. Tom and Tom's is good. On Streamer, you can get crazy shit. Yeah. On Streamer, I've never been on Streamer. How much might gym cost? I don't know, man. Let me look. Let me Google it for you. I can tell you in a second. I want to say maybe $30 to $50 a month. What does a gym membership cost in Bangkok? Gym membership costs in Bangkok typically range from $1,000, which is about $30, to $6,000, which is about $180 per month. Jet Fitness is the one I was thinking of. Jets, JETTS. That's a 24-hour fitness center. They also have fitness 24/7. That usually costs around $850 to $1,700, so that's not bad. I met a girl the other day, a couple weeks ago, I guess. She's Thai, but she grew up and lived in New Zealand all her life, and she just moved back to Bangkok recently, or moved to Bangkok recently, and she's a personal trainer. I'm going to do a video with her to talk about her move back here and talk about her business. But she does personal training, and she has a cost involved in that. And she works out of the Marriott down the street here. So I want to get with her. She's one of the ones I see over at Sarah Jane every once in a while. But I want to get with her and do a video with her about growing up in New Zealand, being Thai, moving back here to Thailand, what it's like, what's the culture difference, and then talk about her business too. So she's growing a personal training business. So she's super sweet. I watched Gio a long time. He kept giving dating advice and he kept breaking his rules and recommendations. Yeah, that's why I will not talk about my relationships on my YouTube channel. That's one of the reasons. I'm in Da Nang now, probably going to stay here for another 3 to 6 months and see how 2026 plays out. Good. Yeah. How do you like it? Because I love Da Nang. That's one of my favorite places. JJ, up to 430 a week working with a TEFL is better than 0 a week, right? Yeah, but if you're retired and don't want to work, then 0 a week's better. My friend asked me to go to a gym. I asked for what? He said, lift weights. I said, those things are heavy. Yeah, right. Do you get Amazon delivery better in Bangkok than in Manila? I don't think I've gotten anything on Amazon here because the import fees were higher. So I stopped using Amazon. I started using Lazada for the basic stuff I needed, like my hair gel and shit like that I can't buy here. Let me see. Let me look up. Let me go to Amazon quick, and I think the delivery time's probably shorter. It wasn't bad in the Philippines. Of course, I was in BGC, which is a pretty major area, so the delivery was a lot better, I think. But I think the delivery time was probably shorter here than it would be in the Philippines. So let me see. If I wanted to order a vlog camera, $178 for the camera. Import charge is $21.50. So it's actually lower than it has been. I wonder if that has to do with the what do they call that? What Trump put on everybody. They lowered those prices. But anyway, so free delivery. If I ordered now, I'd get it by Sunday, March 22nd, or I can do a fast delivery and get it by March 20th, which is this coming Friday. Usually, even if I do the regular free shipping, March 22nd, I'd get it before that. So that's not bad. $21 import charge. That's not too bad. So I may start using Amazon again. I'd like an Amazon Fire Stick. I have one. I have an Amazon Fire Stick that I ordered through Lazada, actually. And that's how I watch all my stuff on TV. They're cracking down on the private TV. Yeah. On streamer. Is it easy to access very Thai cultural things? Example, 1,000-hand dance shows, etc. Yeah, they've got Marty can probably, if Marty, you're still on, you can probably answer this better than me. Marty's lived here a long time. But yeah, you can definitely just embrace the culture here fairly easily. They've got all kinds of things going on all the time here, especially in Bangkok. Those things are heavy. Yeah, got it. Don't kiss and tell. Nope. How long have you been in education visa training, and how fluent have you become so far? So some guy gave me a crap because he said, "Oh, your school sucks because you're not learning like these other schools." But my school is different because like I got a buddy, he went to another school, but he just learned how to speak Thai. He didn't learn how to read or write it. We're learning how to read and write and speak it and understand it all at once. So the process is a little slower. So we just started level 2. So I started back at the end of September. So we're talking October, November, December, January, February. So not quite 6 months in, and I can speak okay. I can read Thai pretty good now. I just don't have the vocabulary built up to know what each word means yet. Writing is a little hard. That's probably the hardest thing to write Thai because you got to know which consonant to use for each sound because so you got like 7 consonants that have the T sound basically. You've got 7 or 8 consonants that have a K sound. You got 7 or 8 that have a R, or a few that have an R sound, a few that have an S sound, but you got to know which consonant to use for each word. I don't know that. I'm not to that level yet. So the writing part is going to be the hardest. So I think it's going pretty well. Like when we went to Hua Hin, our Grab guy, our Grab driver, he and I were having a conversation. I could kind of understand what he was saying. And then if I wanted to reply, sometimes there was a word I didn't know, so I'd have to look it up. And then I could put that in the sentence that I knew how to structure so I can answer him in that sentence. So it's getting better. I try to use it when I'm in restaurants and bars and stuff when I order. But yeah, it's been fun actually. You're bald. You don't need the gel. Hell gel problems. I gotta have my pomade, my crew pomade. I gotta have that. I gotta get a haircut too. It's getting long. That's a one thing I need. Someone was excited on this channel about getting hair plugs. Wonder how that turned out. On this channel, I don't know. I had a friend that got hair plugs. I don't think it held though. I don't think it stuck with him because he looks just basically as bald as he was before. Heard hair plugs were $1,200 over there instead of $12,000 back home. Yeah, I think they're pretty cheap. He got his in, I think he got his in the Philippines though, if I remember right. Are you still telling the same old story? No. You can go home. You can go to bed now. Go back down to your mom's basement. Da Nang is a great place for me to sit and be productive while working online in my early 30s. So enjoying the nomad life. I enjoyed your previous Da Nang content. Great. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Let's see. I get the codes for a year, $40 a year. Okay, cool. Get the translated cheat. All right. I need to get a like a Thai English Thai dictionary. I was looking on Lazada for those, but I didn't know because if I want to look up a word, I could just look up in the dictionary in alphabetical order, find the word, find what the Thai word is for it, and then I could use that in my sentences. I think I'll have to go to a bookstore. I might go to a bookstore this week and see if I can find one. How many hours per week do you spend in class? And how many hours studying outside of class? So the class is from 1:30 to 3, about 3, a little after 3. So about an hour and a half. And it's 4 days a week. And then I probably spend about an hour a day just going over what we learned in the class that day or the day before. My friend has them. His head looks like a pincushion. AI. Hey, cut it out. Don't pick on JJ. He's injured. No shit. That's okay. He won't bother us again. Trolls don't understand that I have the last word on my channel. So he's been banned. He's gone. Earpods, new iPhone. Yeah, definitely. Well, most of my equipment I got through Amazon. So like my cam my camera here, I bought that on Amazon. Um, my old gimbal I got on Amazon. My phone I actually bought here because I was using this phone, and then the selfie camera got wet, and so it's no good anymore. But my other phone is actually on the table back there. That's the phone I use for my YouTube videos. I bought that at MBK Mall, the one that got raided by the cops for having all the fake knockoff brands. I got my remote, my Boya mics. I got this through Amazon, so I really love these mics. And then my new gimbal, because my old gimbal gave out, stopped. My new gimbal is a DJI, and I really like it. But I bought this at the Fortune Town Mall, which is over on Rama 9, which is by my school. And I really like this new one. It's really nice. So, but my gear bag, I bought my gear bag at on Nana at the right at the corner of Nana and Sukhumvit. They got that store there that sells bags and luggage and hats and things like that. So I bought that, and I really like that gear bag. That's the one I've left 3 different times all over Bangkok, and I've gone back every time, and it's been there waiting for me. So, but there's probably $600 or more. Well, if my phone's in there, it's probably over $1,000 of stuff in that bag. So I've been lucky that it's been back. It's been there every time I've gone back. You're my favorite trans YouTuber. Okay, good for you. China is a short flight. Yep, it is. I want to go to Shanghai. I got a buddy. He's Chinese, and he used to live in BGC, but he's back in China now. And he told me if I wanted to go to Shanghai, he would show me around. He knows Shanghai, so I definitely want to go there sometime. Them fakes can be good. Absolutely. I was sad to hear that they got raided, because I'll buy a fake whatever, that I'll spend $20 on when it normally would be $250. I'll buy a fake one. Except for the watches. I don't do the watches. All the Indians on Sukhumvit, they sell the watches. Super clones. Shenzhen is good for fakes. Shenzhen is where I was going to teach English. That's just north of Hong Kong. And at that time, my girlfriend was working in Hong Kong, so I was going to work in Shenzhen and then go down, visit her on weekends. Never made it. Pepster's machine gun on messages. I know, right? I wish I got paid by the message. That would be cool. Maybe in a few years, there will be a high-speed train from Bangkok to China. I wouldn't doubt it. They've got a train now from Bangkok to Kuala Lumpur. It's not high speed, but they do have a train. That would be kind of fun to take that. I think it's an all-night ride, but that would be fun. Have you ever lived in Ho Chi Minh or Hanoi? If so, what were your thoughts? I've never been to Hanoi. I've been to Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon, but I've never lived there. But I visited there a few times. I like Ho Chi Minh City, but it's a little hard to get around. It's not like Bangkok. They do have one train line now that they just opened last year, so they're working on the transportation issues, infrastructure, but it's still not up to where Tokyo is or where Bangkok is. But yeah, it's just a little too hectic for me as far as being able to get around. Up a $400 fake Rolex is the same shit as real. It all looks real on the outside, just like fake boobs, right? I'm thinking out loud like an Anderson. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. Boy, we're at 2:46. We're working up on 3 hours. I'll go up to the top of the hour. I'll go up to 12 o'clock, and then I haven't eaten yet, so my buddy wants to go to Chatuchak Market, so I'll take him there, get something to eat there. The train is behind schedule. It already goes through Laos to the Thailand border. Okay, so they're planning on extending that up into China. That's cool. Well, they're supposed to put a subway in Manila. I doubt that'll ever come to fruition. The money that was supposed to go to that has probably been spent by somebody already. Hey, all right. Thanks for the $2 super chat. Canadian dollars. Awesome. JJ, this was a great chat. Glad you are on the mend. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it, man. There's my Guinness for Tuesday. They are Frankenstein clones. The dealers can't tell the difference. Well, a lot of these, like the Nike shirts and the Adidas shirts, they're made in the same factory. They just might have a blemish, something that's off, that they can't make it. They won't pass the real markets, so they sell it in these other places. So I have no problem with that. Whatever, doesn't matter to me. Take care and be in touch. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. They're already from China down to Thailand border. Oh, they are? Okay. But it's a high-speed train. That's what we were talking about, right? I'm on the fence between Southeast Asia and Albania. Interesting. I don't know anything about Albania. I couldn't even find it on a map, probably. Is that in Europe? I assume it's in Europe. I don't know. Albania, interesting. 5% gray area. Okay. Curious how you originally created your YouTube name. How did you come up with it? Okay, so here's the story. So growing up in the 60s, my mom and my 3 older sisters were a big influence on me as far as music. Well, my dad too. My dad played the harmonica. My mom played the organ and piano. So when I was like 5 years old, I took our little portable organ to kindergarten, and for show and tell, I played Silent Night. I think it was Silent Night. Played Silent Night on the organ for show and tell. So piano was the first, or organ was the first instrument I learned how to play on. But so music was a big thing in our household. My mom used to love this band called Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. Well, there's a song that they played that was very popular song called The Lonely Bull. And I really liked that song I don't know what it was, an instrumental, and I really liked it. It just was really cool. And then whenever Jerry Maguire came out, that movie was like 96 or 98 or whatever. That song was in the movie where the one of the main characters, the football player, Rod, I can't remember what his name was, but anyway, he kind of had a chip on his shoulder. Nobody really liked him because he's kind of a dick. But he was in practice, and they were showing him in practice, and they were playing this Lonely Bull song in the background because that's kind of how he was. He was a lonely bull because nobody liked him. And then, but anyway, so it kind of triggered in me when I decided to do this channel. It's like, what am I going to name? So I thought back to my childhood, the song Lonely Bull, because I've always kind of been a loner because I was the only boy. I was the youngest. I was born a lot later than all my sisters. So I was kind of an oops baby, I think. But, and I've always kind of been a black sheep and always moved a lot and changed jobs a lot. And so I was always kind of a loner. So I thought about, okay, I could be like Lonely Bull. And the other thought I had was the first poem I ever learned was when I was like 3 or 4 years old. I got to credit my sisters. They taught me how to read at a very early age. The first poem I learned was the what was it called, the Road Less Taken. I think it was by Robert Frost. And it goes, two roads diverge in the yellow woods. Sorry, I could not travel one to be one traveler as long as I stood. I looked down one as far as I could to where it bended the undergrowth. And it goes on and on and on. But anyway, so that was my other thought. It's like, I'm kind of that traveler. It's like, I want to take the road less traveled. And so I was like deciding between those two. And I decided on the Lonely Bull, and I decided JJ because that was my radio name. So I said, I'll be JJ the Lonely Bull. And do I want to be JJ the Lonely Bull in the Philippines? Because that's where I was living. It's like, you know what? But I want to show my experiences everywhere I go. So I used Asia. So that's how I became up with JJ the Lonely Bull in Asia. Yeah. So you're bored, I know. But anyway, that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. Glad Amazon and alternatives are so good there. Just stop buying new anything that's not coming to Thailand. Yeah. That's not for coming to Thailand. Yeah. 150 per hour. 150 per hour. Albania is in Europe, second to Thailand for me. Awesome. I'll have to check into that. I've never really thought about Europe much. A street vendor grabbed all his watches and ran when police approached, dropping a fake watch. When I tried to hand the watch to the policeman, he told me to put it in my pocket. Okay. Got yourself a free watch. I lived in Greece, but the EU is hard for people leaving that can support themselves. Really? I didn't know that. South of former Yugoslavia. Okay. So Eastern Europe, which is better than Western Europe, from what I understand. I play all the time. Nice. 100 miles per hour in China has a variety of fast trains. Nice. I had in-sound stage. I miss my Apogee speakers. Designed in Massachusetts by an ex-sound engineer from Northrop. Cool. Original ribbons. Okay. I like the personal flair. Great story. Excellent poem by Robert Frost. Yeah, I think so too. You should pierce your septum. What the hell? Leave my septum out of this. It's closer, and I have friends there. You have friends in your septum? 1 year visa for Americans. Okay. Kind of going off the rails there, Pepster. I don't know where you're getting your ideas, but anyway, so let's kind of wrap things up. We're caught up on chat. We're getting up to almost 2 hours. So I'll go 5 more minutes and then I'm out. I'm getting hungry, and I think my buddy's probably waiting for me. So Albania has no visa entry for Americans for 1 year, then leave 30 days, come back for 1 year and repeat. Nice. Awesome. So there's no cost at all in Europe. Turkey. Yeah, exactly. That's a good deal. What's the cost of living like there? How much are things there? Next time you guys see me, I'll have my hair cut. I tell them to just cut all the gray out. That's why I wear the gel, because it kind of hides the gray, gives it a little sheen, a little shine. No cost. Okay, nice. Thanks. Have a good one. Thanks. You too, Steve. Cheap. Albania's cheap. Okay, cool. Do they speak English there? That would be my question. Or what is the language there? Is it what do they speak? Comparable to Western Asia. Okay. Interesting how the Philippines released their digital nomad visa almost a year ago. I haven't heard of a single person who has applied and taken it. Either have I. Yeah, I think that's been a bust. Why would you do that? Why would you sign up for that when you can just go there on a tourist visa and live there for 3 years and still work, and nobody ever says anything? Thank you. Thank your secret Thai girlfriend for nursing you back to health for us. Right. About the same as Thailand, infrastructure more like the Philippines. Oh, well, that's not good. Somewhat. Thanks for the great chat today. Thank you, Dave, for coming on. Albanian. They speak Albanian. Okay. What is that, kind of similar to Russian, or is that kind of in the ballpark, or do they speak English there at all, or would I have a problem going there not speaking any Albanian? I would think if they let Americans in for a year with nothing to pay, I would think there'd be a lot more people that would speak American or speak English there, just to deal with the stupid Americans that come there. But anyway, all right, guys. No more on the chat. Let's go ahead and finish up. If you got any other comments, go ahead and give me a quick comment. 6-hour ferry to Bari, Italy, 30-minute ferry to Corfu, Greece. Oh, cool. Yeah, Europe's so different than America. It's like, some guys like driving through Europe. It's like, yeah, what'd you do today? Well, I drove from, Spain into France into wherever. It's like, what'd you do today? Well, I drove through Texas. Same amount of time. Let's see, Albanian. English is issue except in capital. Older folks forget it. Younger people speak quite a bit. Okay, so kind of like here, I would guess. If you're in the capital city like Bangkok and the touristy areas, you probably wouldn't have a problem. That would be a great name for a bar. What would be a great name for a bar? Thumbs up, everyone. Yes, please give me a thumbs up before you take off. And I appreciate you guys all coming on. I appreciate the likes. And again, Jay, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate you, man. And if you guys are in Bangkok, look me up. If you're going to be around on St. Patrick's Day, I'll be at one of those bars that we talked about. So, yes, peace, Adam. Well, have fun in Da Nang, and maybe we'll see you sometime either there. Or stupid American. That's me. I'm a stupid American too. I can say that. Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, you're welcome. Appreciate you guys. All right. Have a great one. We will talk to you next time, next Sunday. And until then, have yourself a great one. As always, live life, my friend. And sabay sabay. We'll talk to you again next time. Okay.